not listening to us bullshit. They would have loved the Lost episode. But
oh, it would have been great. I would have probably been I would have never been able to show my face in public ever again. It was because I was like, when I got done with it, I was like, man, I don't know what I said, but I feel like I said something really bad. I don't know what it was.
Nah, none of it was too bad. I mean, we did make a few Tony Gonzalez references that probably were in poor taste at the time.
yes. No, Tom.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah, I mean,
those are the best ones. Those are the most accurate ones usually.
Yeah, well, when the whole thing about Tony's alleged affair with his intern that lit herself on fire, allegedly lit herself on fire. I still don't know if I buy it in Minecraft or whatever else we're saying to caveat that. But
yeah,
my response when it first happened, and I was, because X is where I do most of my abusing of the public. My initial response was, so Tony, did she do this because you told her she had to run your social media campaign this go around, or because you're that bad in the sack? And obviously he didn't answer. I was very, very hurt. It was a sincere question.
Yeah. Well, talk about a girl who's smoking hot.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Bump. All right, this is going to be fun.
That was a dank one right there.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think that was probably the most inappropriate of the comments we made. We were pretty well behaved, which was kind of surprising when I was going back through and reviewing it. I'm like, we were getting pretty crispy there, but we managed to behave ourselves pretty well. I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah,
but
I felt that one for 2 more days after. It was great.
It was awesome. The next morning was definitely a little bumpy. That's a great segue into, why don't you tell my listeners, for those who may not be familiar with who you are, a little bit about yourself. So
Okay. Well, my name is Tom, and I'm a Virgo, and I like long walks on the beach. My name's Tom Knighton. I'm a writer at Bearing Arms. Have a YouTube channel called The Fourth Rail. I'm at a substack called Tilting at Windmills. I also write a little bit for Town Hall, and I crack a lot of smart ass jokes on, Twitter/X.
Yep, which actually kind of fits in with the people I seem to be drawing to myself these days. Let's see, Second Amendment, smart ass. Yeah, that's pretty much the 2 major boxes. Lover of good bourbons helps.
Yes.
Yes, and an appreciator of Buffalo Public Schools and Tony Gonzalez.
Yes,
that
was something that actually I planned on bringing up at some point. Just when it felt.
You can circle back to it.
We can circle back to it, but yeah. So that's very cool. That's actually, I'll be honest, that's how I became aware of you, is once that started going on, and I went, this guy's all right. I like him, and that's pretty much as far as it goes, where I'm just like, that's how I decide whether I'm gonna start following somebody or if I'm gonna start listening to what they have to say. Is just like, well, they don't suck.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't suck. I like him.
I like this guy. He don't suck.
Well, really, that's really the primary criteria everyone should use, and it's why everyone really dislikes Tony Gonzalez, because we're pretty sure he does.
And
literally,
when he wipes.
Yeah, he's
allegedly
in Minecraft. Yeah, I don't know. He's just, I mean, that's, way out of my district, obviously. But like during the first campaign where Brandon was running against him, I was one of those people that was just bullying him on general principle, because I was like, this guy's, I mean, I'm not very like knee jerk reactive to like, oh, so-and-so said we should go do this, I'm going to go do this. But I was like, okay, a lot of people are saying this, let me look into this guy. And I was like, oh yeah, he's a twat.
I'd been writing about Tony's bullshit for, a little while before Brandon announced.
Yeah.
And when he announced it, I'm like, wait, he's going against this guy? Oh, this is too good.
Yeah, I kind of went the opposite direction. I learned more about Tony after Brandon announced, because I'm like, well, he says this guy's a fuckwaffle. And far be it for me to base all my opinions on the opinions of other people, but like I said, I will use that as inspiration to go look at somebody and go, "Oh yeah, no, this guy's a twat. I'm not." I need to say bad things about him until he cries.
We should not call Tony Gonzalez a twat because he lacks the warmth and the depth.
Oh,
or the overall general usefulness and enjoyability.
Yes.
At
least a twat's worth something, right?
Right.
Yes. That's a very fair assessment and wonderful way of looking at it that will definitely be going into my.
Although he is slimy, so
he's a runny nose.
Yeah, that's
there you go.
Very apt, actually.
He started beating the gun control drum after Uvalde.
Yeah.
This is proof we need. And I'm like sitting there going, dude, did you look at the Uvalde Police Department?
Oh, man.
Yeah, no. I'm one of those people. My whole argument with Uvalde was this is proof of why you can't count on the cops. You have to and it wasn't even the first time the cops had broken SOP to stand outside the school. Yeah.
While the shooting's going on. It happened in Parkland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my belief that we shouldn't have to depend on the cops to protect schools and anyone for that matter.
Yeah.
Just remember
when seconds count, the cops are minutes away.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's like my dad was a cop. So I know most cops want to step in and do the, protect and serve.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is they have no duty to protect. This has been established in the courts for years. But they make it impossible for you to protect yourself in a school. But they don't have a duty to protect you, which means you're basically put your ass on out on the clothesline for all to see.
Yep.
And there's literally nothing you can do about it because, hey, they're just kids. They don't vote. Who cares?
Honestly, how likely are you worried about getting shot by a kid? Really? I mean, now me, I'm in the Chicagoland area. Yes, I'm worried about getting shot by a kid. But yeah, and I should add this to clarify. I don't, I'm not anti-cop by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
I do want to clarify that for anybody that might listen to this and go, Aaron said, well, you don't trust the cops to protect you. It's not that I don't. It's like I said, they're a reactive force. They're not a preventive force. So
every cop I've ever known would tell you that they want to protect you. They can't.
Yep.
It's not saying, bashing the cops for facing the reality that there's only a few thousand cops on the road in the entire country at any given point in a country of around 330 million people. The ratio is just not on your side there.
No, it's really not.
Right. It's not to mention it's not Minority Report. They don't know where the crime is going to happen before it happens. If you get a quick response, it's just because they happen to be in the area and you were just lucky.
Yeah. Or there was nobody on the roads and they could just haul ass across town.
Yeah,
which,
exactly.
In some places like, Chicago, not going to happen.
Yep. And, and it's funny how in those places too, that's where they want you the most disarmed. They want you to be vulnerable. They want you to not be able to protect yourself or defend yourself because, that's just wrong and dangerous and bigoted and all the ists and
and even though those departments do have more personnel, they also want to apply those rules to the guy who lives in Podunk County, Idaho, where they have one sheriff deputy on duty for a county that's 800 square miles.
Yep. And it's completely, there's nothing they can, just from a logical, realistic standpoint, there's nothing you can fairly expect from them in that situation.
Right.
No. It's if Bubba's on the other side of the county.
Yeah.
And for the record, I've known quite a few sheriff's deputies named Bubba. I'm not disparaging, rural deputies when I say that. But if he's on the other side of the county, he's not the frickin' Flash.
Yeah,
He's not able to move at speeds that, threaten the space-time continuum. He'll get there as fast as he can, but the way I always like to put it is cops will be there just in time to draw a chalk outline around your body.
Right. Take some notes, pick up some shell casings or whatever.
Right. If it's up to me to make sure that if they're going to draw a chalk outline around the body, it ain't mine.
Exactly. Yeah. I completely concur with that. I've found myself in a position more than once where it was like, well,
I've had a couple of instances in my neighborhood where I come out the front door with the Glock in my hand.
Yeah.
Including one time I'm drawing down on a guy, yard across, who'd been popping shots at someone, going, raise the gun, raise it, raise it.
Be good.
You're going to do it. Let's get it over with so I can, get the questioning done and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't have to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But, it's looking down the sight to the person on on the other side.
Yeah.
I just do not understand these people who decide to see some random dude trying to go about its day and decide, you know what, I'm going to try to start shit with that dude for no fucking reason.
Yeah, I don't understand that mentality. I mean, maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe it's just, I don't know. But
no, people have been pieces of shit forever. It's not new.
Yeah,
I mean, people have been doing that crap for as long as people have existed. So
that's fair. I mean, and that's the other thing too. Like I said, I'm generally not the guy who you'd think somebody would be like, that's who I want to fuck with. I mean, not that I think I'm hot shit or anything, but
size matters.
Like I said, exactly. Size matters. I'm not a small dude.
But there's also the people who see the big guy and go, I'll get more cred.
Oh yeah. When I used to spend a lot of time at the bar, in my younger days, in my early 20s, I was a bouncer. Just
my son was
like money. So
my son's like 6'3", 290.
Yeah.
And he had a problem through middle school of people wanting to pick on him because he's the big guy. It was like, all right, quit pussyfooting around when they want to go. You're not going to get in trouble at home. You might have to ride out the punishment at school, but you're not going to get in trouble at home because a man's got to defend himself.
Yep.
He got into a fight. All right, no big deal. I figured that'd be it because once they realized someone like that'll fight back. Well, one kid kept trying it and kept trying. He had seen the fight. I'm like, all right, look, here's what you do. Next time you have to throw down, you don't stop when the teacher tells you to stop. You make them pull you off of him. He did that. And not only did he never have another problem in school ever, when he got to high school, he was literally the only white kid in an all-black school, and nobody screwed with him.
No, your reputation precedes you.
Yeah. The one of the kids whose ass he kicked ended up in the same high school a year or so later, started trying to start crap again. And Rob just gets up, stands up, looking over him. Looking down to the point that other people are seeing the very top of Rob's head. And he's like, do I need to kick your ass again, just as a reminder?
Nice.
And there was never another problem.
It was a lovely thing.
I got into a fight with this one kid when I was in school. In the middle of the gym during PE. The coach is sitting over on the other side of the gym reading a newspaper. I'm wailing on this little shit. It was the principal's stepson.
Oh, there you go.
But the thing is, literally nobody liked this little fucker.
Because he was a principal's stepson.
Right. The only people who ever, it's like, we, after school waiting for basketball practice, we, took a basketball outside to the outdoor hoops and we're kind of shooting around and he started trying to hog the ball and everything. And we're like, we're going in. I'm not done. Okay, fine. Bring the ball in when you're done. And we went in and then he lost his shit, went to his mom, who was our math teacher. The next day she calls us into her room and starts blessing us out for not coming back out to get the basketball. So later on, when he starts doing shit in the gym, I start beating the crap out of him. Coach sitting there reading the paper, looks up, sees what's going, looks back down, finishes his article, folds the paper up at a normal clip, stands up, finishes folding it, puts it back down, and slowly starts walking over. About halfway across the gym, I stop beating the shit out of this kid. And I'm not saying I was a tough guy. It was just a matter of this was the wimpiest human being I've ever had the displeasure of knowing. But I just stopped before he got there, and he was like, okay, go right back, sat back down. Literally nobody gave a shit because the kid deserved the ass whooping.
Yeah, it's always fun.
It's always the athletics. We had when I first moved to the town where I am. The town I came from had like, I don't know, around 4,000 people, little bitty town. And I moved to a town at the time had an air base on it. Moved to a town of 18,000. And of course I start going to the school, and that's not a big town. I mean, but it's a big difference between that and, I mean, it's like 5 times bigger. And I got into a fight at least once a week because, I mean, everybody was either related or, something where I came from. And I had never been around black kids or anything, had no inkling of what I was. And this town is predominantly black for that school. And I didn't treat people any different. And I was a long-haired little skinny white kid, and I made good grades, and they thought that they were going to intimidate me. I came into the class and I was screwing up their curve. The teachers graded on a curve to try and keep the grades up. And the kid that had been there making the best grades was like 70, high 70s, low 80s. And I come in, I start acing tests. And so there was no curve.
Oh, you can't do that. That's not
I was screwing their curve up. And so they all confront me. It's like, look, you're either going to start lowering your grade on purpose, or you're going to start letting us cheat off you. And of course, me being me, I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing either one of those things. Not going to have integrity or anything. But
the nerve.
Yeah, the nerve of me. So I start having to defend myself every single week. I swear it was like being in prison. It was awful. But yeah, they would start it every morning.
On the yard.
We had first period boys athletics every day, and every time I turned around, I was getting into a fight with somebody. If it wasn't in that class, it was later on. Yeah. I hate that shit. But I mean, you stand. I will tell you, I probably have never won a fight that I was in. But that doesn't matter. I mean, you just defend yourself, and it doesn't matter if you take a beating or not.
A lot of times the principle is just letting them know.
Yeah,
they can't push you.
Yeah, you got. Ironically enough, I didn't really get in a lot of fights in my youth. I got in more fights as an adult than I did as a kid. And again, that was, like I said, when I was spending a lot of time in the bar. Big guy, you'd get somebody slightly smaller. They would get those beer muscles and be like, I'm striking out. Nobody wants to touch my pee-pee. I'm going to go hit that guy. And, meanwhile, half the time I was working the door, so I'm stone cold sober, and I get some drunk, 5'4" guy that decides he's going to kick my ass, bring me down a peg because how dare I be the bouncer. And like, dude, this is my job. I get to fuck you up and then hand you over to the cops. Do you really want to do this? And
yeah,
the majority of the time, because I'm pretty good at running my mouth, the majority of my time I would talk my way out of it or bully my way out of it or bluster my way out of it without actually having to put hands on somebody. But every once in a while, you'd get that guy where no matter what you said to him, he was bound and determined to make a point out of, like, fuck this guy. And it would get worse if I was like, not working, because then I'd have liquor in me and you're going to kick my ass, huh, buddy? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll pull my nuts out and you can take a swing at them first because you're going to have better luck reaching them than you are reaching my head. How's that sound? Yeah, I mean, I would just start saying stupid shit because I'd half in the bag, and why not? And And the funny thing is, I'm actually the more moderate between me and my younger brother. I'm the calm one. He would go to bars like when he first turned 21. I was 23, so I take him out to the bar and we're out there, and he was a lot of fun to be around until he hit that point where it's like happy drunk, happy drunk, happy drunk, happy drunk. I'm gonna go fight those 4 bouncers, and then and I was basically babysitting him at that point, because I knew everybody in town just from between working at the place I worked at, working at the school, and bouncing myself. I knew every other bouncer in town. It was a tight knit circle. Joliet's not a huge place, so I'm out at a bar and I'm single, so I'm like trying to chat up some old broad that's out there. Hey, somebody's watching my kids, and I just got divorced, and I'm like, easy pickings. There you go. How you doing, mama? And,
yeah.
Not that I was not actually much for like actually hooking up with any. I'm actually it's a really weird contradiction. I'm ultra hypochondriac, so I was not big on like hookup ideals. I don't have a massive sheet of like all these women I've bagged, but I would like hit on them and make myself feel good when they started reacting. Hey, all right, yeah, cool. No, I'm not going home with you, but this was fun. Thanks. I just wasted my whole night. Well, I'm sorry. I do respect myself, and I respect you. They can't be mad at you when you tell them you don't want to just have a one night stand because you respect them. Oh yeah, no, here, give me a call sometime, Margaret. That'd be great. And yeah. And ironically enough, none of them ever called me because I would have been like, friendly and sociable and yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah. Well, let's go grab dinner. But oh no,
that's not why they were
never
there.
once got one of those cougars to call me back.
They weren't there for that.
No, they weren't. Yeah.
But the one time I had a night like that, it was really pretty cool because she, really kind of thought I was going to go home with her. Look, her tongue spent that much time in my throat. I figured I had a good shot.
Right. Yeah.
And then 2 nights later, I see her at the grocery store with her husband.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yep. Dodged one there.
There was not a ring. I looked.
No. Yeah.
Well, you got to look. It's just courteous.
Yeah, right. Look. I looked. It wasn't there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had a couple of nights where it was kind of like, you know what, you're coming home with me. And I'm like, I appreciate that, but no, I'm not. It's been fun, but I respect myself too much to just say, hey, you know what? You'll do.
See, luckily, I had absolutely no respect for myself.
Yeah, I didn't either. I had no respect at all for myself.
Oh no, I like I said, it's more just that was a much more easy way to let them down.
Yeah.
Like, yep, nope, not that drunk. Yeah. Sorry.
When I was 21, I was dating a 32-year-old divorcee because I thought I would gain experience.
Nothing wrong with that.
You don't. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no transitive property for
no, not at all.
Yeah.
No.
It's not like experience isn't a sexually transmitted disease.
No.
Nope. But
although you get some experience from those.
You do.
You do.
You do.
No. Like
especially when they have to do the little swab to test.
Oh no.
See, that right there is what made me into a hypochondriac.
That's not a hypochondriac.
No,
that's smart.
Yeah. That was, hearing stories from my dad, my uncles, and going, you know what? That sounds fucking horrible.
That's because it's horrible.
I will be much more selective about where my junk winds up.
Yeah. It's there's no. That is an exit only opening.
Right?
It is not meant for stuff to go in there.
No.
Yeah, but you got to try at least a few times.
No, I really don't. Having had to give people catheters. We had a patient who would pull out his Foley catheter if you left one in. So we had to do a straight catheter every 3 hours. And I'm like sitting here going, I enlisted to hold some old dude's junk every 3 hours. I'm like, I could have just stayed in the bathroom at college and gotten to hold all the dude's junks I wanted.
Yeah. I thought you were going to tell a poop noodle story or something.
No. Not
we're not gonna tell that. If you there's plenty of places you can look that up.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
was
need to
say,
tell that story on
feel
here.
free to Google it. Use
Yeah.
incognito mode.
Wait,
Do yourself
yeah,
a
please
favor.
don't
You
Google
don't want
that.
ads
You'll
because of
feel
that.
better. You'll feel much better about yourself if you don't Google that.
Yeah.
Trust me.
and Google will feel better about you too.
Yeah.
Yes. When our AI overlords strike, they will say, at least this guy didn't look up poop stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I always say please and thank you when I ask AI to do stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm very polite. Very polite.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you wouldn't mind, please
Even when
generate me
it's-
an image of Tim Waltz in a retard helmet.
And it's just Tim Walt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no,
Yeah.
the hard part's getting the helmet right because I've noticed AI keeps liking to make it a construction helmet. I'm like, no, that's way too manly. It needs to be one of those big white helmets that you see the kid on the bus in.
Unless they dress Tim Walls up like the construction guy from the Village People.
I mean,
That'll do it.
There's literally no change in masculinity.
Yeah, no,
There's no change at all because he has none.
So just give him a blaze orange vest and you're good.
It's like if Tim Walls walking across the stage, like, it's like if he tried to act gay.
Walking?
Okay,
More of a
sashay.
prance.
Yeah.
Sashay.
Sauntered.
Yeah, but when he sachets across the stage and he's got his hands out like, oh my God, it's RuPaul.
Yeah.
Girl, you are fabulous.
Yeah, that's
Like, I'm not saying, anything except that, he likes to eat Snickers upside down for the veiny feeling on his tongue.
Speaking of Tim Walls and something I think is kind of funny. I don't remember what it was about in reference to exactly, but I went off on some tear a few weeks ago where I was bitching about Tim Walls and his wife and his daughter and how I actually felt bad for the only person I actually had any sympathy for or empathy for in that family was the son because I feel like he's not aware of how shit upon he actually is. I don't know. It makes me smile. It makes me laugh to know I'm out there spreading peace and positivity and love throughout.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Peace and joy to all my friends.
That's a good segue. Peace and love and joy. Tom's a writer. Tom, how did you get started writing so you could spread peace and love and joy?
By accident. I've always been into politics itself. And I've actually been across the spectrum through, from childhood to where I am today. But I was actually writing about tabletop role-playing games when I met another guy locally who wrote about politics. And I mentioned, I'm pretty libertarian kind of guy. And he's like, well, I'm, having this meetup with a bunch of other, folks, why don't you come out? And so I'm out and I'm talking. They're like, I've been kind of thinking about starting something political. And he's like, well, why don't you come write with me? And this was just stuff we were doing on the side, but it became a big deal locally. And then he popped off about the wrong person, got us sued. We parted ways because lawsuits suck.
Yes, they do.
But
Okay.
I still say that Ray McBarry is a fucking pervert. My opinion, Ray. But my partner said some other things that were a little beyond that. But started my own site and had been contributing to a local weekly newspaper, had a chance to actually buy that newspaper. So I became the first blogger, as far as I know, anywhere in the world to buy a newspaper, which, was...
That was a hell of an investment, wasn't it?
It wasn't as big as it could have been, but it was not cheap. It turns out I was also the first blogger to lose a newspaper.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just the way you said. I'm also the first blogger to lose a newspaper.
It's true.
That's a great delivery, though.
Appreciate that. But I kind of got desperate, and after you've had a business, it's very difficult to get people to hire you. I guess they figured that you're just looking for your next enterprise. and not, okay, this has burned me. I want the safety of a job. And I had a hard time. And then a startup website was looking for writers. And uh, this one guy who I've never met in my life, but he's from my town. We know a lot of the same people. He was doing the web marketing side for the startup. And he was like, hey, I think you've got the right politics for this. They're looking for someone. Why don't we connect you? I'm like, yeah, great. Well, that started paying me to write about politics. And then through that, I got some connections to try a different site. Then from that, I ended up at PJ Media. Um, One of the people I worked with at the startup um, was a woman named Kira Davis, who had left there to be an editor at Red State. And I reached out like, hey, do you guys have any openings or whatever? And kind of slipped her mind for a little bit. When I hit her up again, she's like, message me tomorrow, late morning so that I can, ask. And she hit me back the next day and it's like, do you know anything about the Second Amendment? I've been a gun guy for years at this point. And I'm like, oh, please throw me in the briar patch. And she's like, we need somebody at Bearing Arms. And that was 2017, and I've been there since.
Excellent.
Phenomenal. That's yeah, I've actually kind of touches on what this is about as professional as I get here. I have my tiny little bullet points. Would you care to delve any further into your 2A writing or any,
In since 2017, I have covered pretty much every aspect of Second Amendment advocacy.
mm-hmm.
Um, I've covered everything. I've covered Parkland. I covered the Las Vegas shooting, the Route 91 shooting. Um, I've covered every major mass shooting since then. I've dealt with the political aftermath of all of it. I, wrote about proposed assault weapon bans and universal background checks and red flag laws and pretty much everything. And it's funny how now, you know, coming up on well, it was August 2017 when I started. So, you know, 8 years later, I'm fighting the same battles. um,
Yeah,
it's the more things change, the more they stay the same.
yep,
True.
pretty much.
But if you're still fighting them, that means you haven't lost.
That's true. It's like infuriating me that we've got the Bruin decision
Yep.
that came down. It says, it lays out a pretty clear standard. Rahimi kind of muddied the waters a little bit, but you've got to actually have some kind of historic analog for arms being restricted, right? And they still roll out assault weapon ban proposals and magazine bans and you know permit to purchase bills and all these other things, and you're sitting here going, how retarded are you really? Because if anyone with an IQ above the average American shoe size knows there's no analog for any of these things,
Very true.
and you guys keep pushing it and you're not even defending it with the analogs. Well, this is make the this is for safety. This is for this. This is popular. It's funny about the whole this is popular is when they get a poll that tells them something's popular, they will hold on to that poll, ignoring everyone that comes afterwards saying it's not popular until the next poll goes their way.
Yep.
Every single time. It's like a 2017 poll showed this. I'm like, yeah, and the poll last week was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, polling is notoriously unreliable in terms of actually gauging anything because pollster,
Yeah.
and I'm saying this as someone who has been a paid pollster, where I worked on as just side hustle money. Here, what's your opinion on this? We'll give you $100. My opinion is not going to be what you want to hear. Well, we need a few dissenters anyway. You want to come take the survey or not? Okay, it's $100.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like I said, the data is always, and just me being me, I established a kind of relationship with the polling agency where the people that work there would just be like, "Oh, look, dude, we know you're not going to tell us what we want to hear on this one, but we need a certain percentage of dissenters, and you want to make $100, you want to make $50, just because the one time I went in, I brought sandwiches for everybody." After that, they loved me. Hey, Aaron, we got another survey. What are you doing today? Like, I got court today. I'm not coming in.
Yeah. But it's funny. Like red flag laws, universal background checks. They keep saying they poll really high. Blue state Maine rejected a universal background check bill that was on a ballot. Now, this is before Lewiston, but they rejected this despite the polling saying it was popular. There's a lot of places where, the polls said it was this, and then when the voters had a chance to vote for it, they didn't.
Exactly.
But even when you take that out of account, they're like, this is a winning issue for politicians. No, it's not, because you never ask how important of an issue is it. Because a lot of those people who are like, yeah, I kind of support that, but I completely dislike everything else on y'all's platform. That's not a winning issue.
Well, I liken this very much to, the big pharma, and it's a lot more profitable to treat the symptoms than to actually cure the disease. And I look at 2A stuff in politics in a very similar light. And a lot of politicians, just get enough of a bite out of those, anti-gun suggestions to keep getting themselves reelected. They don't. If they actually got the stuff banned, they wouldn't have a platform anymore. I mean, they're just so. I that's kind of how I look at it. It's like there's been a lot of opportunities in the not too distant past where some really anti-gun stuff could have been pushed through, and so that's the way I look at it. I mean, I could be completely off on my opinion on that, but it seems to be the case.
Well, what we have to understand is that what your average Democrat does is they pass a policy to solve some problem. And it either doesn't solve the problem or it creates a new one that they can then come in and go, hey, well, this is a real problem. And here's how we have to fix it with our ideology, which just makes the problem worse. And then they follow up with, well, the problem is we didn't do it hard enough. And this applies both to gun control and literally anything else.
Everything else.
Socialism?
Yeah. It's with gun control, it's, oh yeah, we got to have gun control. All right, well, let's take, for example, a state like Illinois.
Yep.
We've got to have, we're going to pass this law that's going to require you to have a FOID card. Right? Yep. And we've got to have this because we want to keep criminals from buying guns. And if everybody has to have a FOID card, that'll keep criminals from having guns. So now everybody's got to have a FOID card. You've got to go through all this stuff just to get a card, just so you can exercise your right to keep and bear arms. And criminals keep getting guns.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that our laws work fantastic, but Indiana doesn't have the same laws. And so that's caused, I'm like, well, then why did you push for a FOID card when you knew people could cross the state line?
Right.
Oh, and it's amazing how all those criminals are taking the time to drive to Indiana to go pick up a firearm before they commit their crimes too. I mean, it's just
Right.
astounding
It
that
is,
they have that kind of forethought.
and it's like I'm sitting here going, well, you guys are the ones who sold this as a way to keep guns out of criminals' hands. I I was stationed in Great Lakes. I know how close Indiana is to Chicago.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
Yep.
And let's be perfectly honest. If you want to find some shady people in Gary, Indiana, it ain't that hard.
No, Gary is a bastion of civility and moral fortitude and meth.
And Tim Walz is the ideal of masculinity.
Yes. I mean, hey, I saw him tighten that wing nut on that air filter. It was impressive.
Because he knows how to work on his car.
Ooh.
Yeah.
AOC is going to, be up for the Nobel Prize in physics.
Yes.
Yeah. She's.
Say one thing
I'm not
about
going to be able to say anything sarcastic here. AOC, and I'm completely derailing this conversation, but I'll bring it back, I promise. But I do have to get this out of my system. AOC reminds me of when I used to bounce, the bartenders that you would never go to for anything more complicated than a shot and a beer. I mean, because I'm convinced when she was a bartender in college, she would fuck up anything that involved a blender. I guarantee it. Anything that involved more than two spirits, she was not the one you asked for.
Yeah.
No, but she was good to look at, and that's about it.
Well,
That's what she brought. She brought people into the bar.
When it comes to political minds, AOC is a great pair of tits.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just what it boils down to. But I want to give some credit to Jasmine Crockett for a moment. For one thing, because thanks to her, AOC is not the most retarded member of Congress.
Yeah.
I will.
That is not the way I thought that statement was going to go. I mean, I'm glad it turned that way, but I just I don't know where he's headed with this. But
I don't know where this is going, and I'm kind of scared.
As you should be.
Fair enough. But I mean, on the other hand, we could also make an entire show just out of talking about we could have a full on, 5-round death match. Who is actually the dumbest person in DC? Because there's so many factors you can look at. There's overall glaring stupidity. There's operative stupidity. There's long-term stupidity. There's people that you look at them and you go, God damn it, you are too old to be saying something that fucking stupid.
I'd rather do oh, go ahead.
I will say this, at least neither one of those two has ever asked if Guam was going to capsize.
As a Georgian, I apologize for him.
It's your fault.
Nope, he's Atlanta. I'm in South Georgia.
Yep.
Now, we got a Democrat, but he ain't that stupid. I'm actually closer to Florida's state capital than I am my own, which is funny because most of my friends from Florida aren't as close to their state capital as I am.
Yeah. I mean,
they put Florida state capital at the very north of a very long phallic state.
Yeah.
Interesting you make that distinction.
Well, I mean, it is America's Wang. So.
Yeah.
And when you look at the basic shape of America, it's the Wang. California's the asshole. His name's Gavin Newsom.
Yes.
Yes.
That's where all the shit comes from.
Also, yes.
New England is the belly button lint.
Not going to be able to unsee that now. Okay.
And Chicago's a hernia.
I will 100% get
festering
hernia. Infected, bloated, ready to rupture hernia.
It's an ulcer that has eaten its way through the intestines.
Ooh. No, that's just Cook County entirely. Just
Cook,
fair.
DuPage. Yeah, I mean, I used to love Chicago back in the early 2000s when it was still, bearable.
I loved Chicago when I was in Great Lakes because that's where there were more girls.
Exactly. That's the same reason I loved it in the early 2000s.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
something else.
There's a thing I was reading the other day actually that I guess in Japan now too there's a like I don't know how you'd social clique, a subset, whatever. And they're like Japanese rednecks, for lack of a better way of putting it. They're all, cowboy boots, yeehaw, Confederate flags on everything. And I'm just like, our culture is not your costume. What the fuck? But then I'm like, it's the Japanese. I mean,
yeah. Well, here's what you have to understand about Japan is when you look at their history, the only time they had gotten their ass kicked was when they kicked their own ass for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And then they picked a fight with us and we unleashed the sun on them twice. And they're like, finally a worthy adversary.
Yeah.
We will emulate your ways.
And 90 years later, you get to watch a tentacle fuck a robot.
Don't judge me.
I'm not, no judgment.
Yeah.
Just saying. Hey, I watch anime.
It's hilarious though when you think about how I wish America was the America Japan thinks we are.
Yeah, me too.
Because they still kind of view us as that post World War II cowboy era, And it's like, it's one country we do not ever have to worry about again.
Yeah, I mean, well, to your point, when you drop the sun on somebody a couple times, like, not to be too controversial or divisive or anything, but I'm just saying, there's a couple places, if we turned them into a sheet of glass, there'd be a lot less problems in the world. I'm just, without going into specifics.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a little dusty in here.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm sitting here going, why you guys got it twice? Because Germany was smart enough to surrender before we nuked them.
Yeah.
Because one of those was for them.
That's right.
Yep. And then,
and you know what? When they gave up, we're like, okay.
That's probably a good call. Yeah.
Hey, look, we have a spare now.
Yeah. And it's like, it's kind of like the very poor taste joke of what do you tell a woman with two black eyes?
Nothing. You already told her twice.
Right. It was, we already told Japan twice. It's like first time we nuke them and it's like, they know unconditional surrenders, what they, all that's on the table. Yeah, I don't think they've got another one of those. Boom. Oh, they do. Shit.
Now, how many more of those you got? Tons of them.
Yeah.
Not true, but yeah. Hey.
Well, it's funny. The guy they kept trying to get the information from didn't know. He just lied and said tons of them.
Oh, yeah, no, we got tons of them. You should let me go right now.
And then Nagasaki happened. They're like, holy shit, he was right. It was like the greatest unintentional psyop in world history.
Yeah.
He was just trying to tell him something so he stopped torturing him.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things where I'm not a huge fan of torture because people say anything under duress,
Well, I won't say I'm not a huge fan of torture, but it really should be fun and not profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's an entirely different scenario. I mean,
it's like, I don't know anything. Why are you torturing me? Because it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. Why are you torturing me? Because you are a teacher in Boston Public School Systems or Buffalo Public School Systems. Sorry, I tripped over my own tongue there.
Did you know that if you use eggnog, it's not waterboarding?
That's
right.
True.
I learned that recently.
Actually, that's something we could have a fun, controversial conversation. Pro or con eggnog?
I'm pro anything that has bourbon in it. You put bourbon in it, it's going to be fine. Although it's a waste of bourbon.
Yeah.
I'm anti-nog.
Okay, just checking. I'm indifferent nog.
I'm slightly lactose intolerant, so I can't have eggnog.
Well, there you
Although
go.
I think they make lactose-free eggnog now. I'm wanting to say that I've seen that recently.
Probably.
It's not too late.
I can't stand the taste.
Yeah, like I said, I'm indifferent to it. I don't have a side in the nog wars. As I said, I'm meh, whatever. I prefer cider.
Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah, there's so many perfectly good things to fight over. Why do we have to fight over something like a beverage?
Yeah.
Well, right. It's like I tell people, being from the South, I saved my hatred for college football season.
Indeed.
I'm not a sports guy, so I have no dog in this fight.
Yeah, ironically enough, I was actually told the other day that apparently I'm a very hateful individual now, and it's by somebody who should know better. But caught Monday's live stream and apparently decided I'm full of rage and hate because I didn't have a lot of empathy for a woman that got shot for hitting somebody with her car.
It's funny, the side that hated that the Trump shooter missed thought actually Babbitt deserved what happened to her, and laughed when Charlie Kirk was killed. Suddenly is upset that we don't have empathy.
Oh,
Yeah, it's it's a conundrum.
Yeah, you try to run over a cop, you're not going to get a lot of empathy.
No.
Yeah,
And it doesn't really. I mean, and I'm no bootlicker by any means, but cops are people. They're trying to do a job. You try to shoot a guy who's armed for his own protection. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Cops carry guns because it's to protect themselves, not anybody else. As we covered earlier, they have no duty to protect anybody else.
Well,
so they're armed for their own protection. Don't hit people. If anybody tried to hit me with a car, I would respond the same way. Right?
I'd be worse because I'd mag dump.
Well, what pisses me off is when I keep seeing all these people. She was unarmed.
No, she wasn't.
Cars kill how many people every year?
Oh, yeah.
More than guns, ironically enough.
And that's by accident in most cases. Imagine what you could do if you're really trying.
I was speaking as someone who's been hit by a car, it's not fun.
No, would imagine not.
That's
I had an uncle who was actually hit by a car and died when my mom was a child, and it's that's not good stuff.
I mean, I'll admit, I got off very lucky because I just got clipped. I didn't get like full on run over.
And it's like she said she wasn't angry at him. I'm like, yes, because people who are going to hurt police officers are always super honest about their intentions.
All right, come on. Let's be completely honest. Any man who's married and has been married for any particular amount of time, when a woman says they're not mad at you,
they're mad.
They're mad at you.
It's like it's fine.
It's fine.
It's never fine.
It's fine.
I'm
not mad at you guys. It's fine.
You do what you want.
Yeah. Oh.
Translate okay. Young guys who might be listening to this and watching this or whatever. Here's advice from a guy who's been married for coming up at 26 years. Whatever your wife says in that sarcastic tone, what she means is the opposite. Yeah. The exact polar opposite.
Yep.
It's fine is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Do what you want translates to do what I tell you to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want you to do.
No, I think honestly, I think do what you want is translates directly to try me.
Yeah.
Now, see, in my experience, do what you want means you better know what I want you to do. So
yeah. Now, depending on what kind of a mood I'm in, do what you want, and I'll do what I want. And then when you like, what the hell? I'm like, you said do what I want.
You said do what I want.
I'm just autistic enough I can get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been married 25 years, and my wife. So I started out, with the, you'd ask permission, and then I got to a point where I was, you come up with it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, and then once you get to a certain age, it's like I don't even ask for forgiveness anymore. It's like you're in this long, how I'm going to be. We just know how each other are, and it is what it is.
My go-to now is you knew what you were getting into.
That's right.
Right. At this point in our marriage, it literally is. Look, you've had plenty of chance to run. You're locked in now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always say, we said till death do us part. Now it's just a stamina competition.
It's funny. My wife's been having some health problems. Nothing serious. Just it keeps her kind of knocking her ass down. And she's like, one day she was really down about it, and she's like, I just don't see how how you can put up with me. And I looked at her and says, well, till death do us part. Or no, I looked at her and said, in sickness and in health. And she's like, yeah, but blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, in sickness and in health. And she starts bawling. I'm sitting here going, man, I just fucking nailed that husband shit.
Yeah.
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 I'm like sitting here going, she is going to go to all of her friends and talk about how fucking awesome I am right now.
Yep. That's
Like,
every once in a while you got to get that one just right.
yeah, I'm like sitting here going, yeah, that's just, I knew
not
I
so
got
much.
it. Yeah. And he's like, I'm sitting here going, yeah, I fucking, I was like, I wanted a football to spike it. Yeah, I started doing victory laps around the house. It's like, what are you doing? Exercise.
Yeah.
I got to stay healthy for you, babe.
You know,
I got to take
you
care
got the
of you.
sickness. I got to handle the health.
Yeah, see, I tend to go the other way lately. Like, been saying things like, remember when we got together and I said there can only be one fatty in this relationship, right? And that job
Oh,
is
don't do
filled.
that. Oh,
To the younger listeners, don't do anything we're saying right now.
No,
ever.
no. I mean, look, if you want to get out of a relationship, these are all excellent ways to do it.
Oh, yeah. There's no better resource for getting out of a relationship than somebody who's been married 20 plus years. So,
yeah.
You got to ease into this shit. Because if you like, oh wow, we're back from the honeymoon. Yeah, got me in the old ball and chain. You're like,
No.
no. If I do the old ball and chain shit bit now, she just rolls her eyes.
she goes, yeah, whatever. You're lucky to have me, you son of a bitch. No, I actually, I can speak to experience of young guys should not listen to people like me ever.
No. We're gonna set them up for failure
Because it's funny.
It's funny.
Yeah, because it's funny. Exactly.
Young guys, what you need to understand is that at this point in our lives, we found that because it was funny is a viable reason to do literally anything.
Pretty much.
Yep.
It's like you look at your boys and you're like, why did you kill that guy? Because it was funny.
Yeah.
And they'll let okay, kind of was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it all flies as long as you can make it funny.
Exactly, and I think that's a generational thing too. Because I mean, we're all Gen X, and to us, because it's funny is a valid reason. I've told people in numerous circumstances, and anybody who knows me, like in real life or like my internet friends, a lot of people know not to ask me why I did something anymore because the answer is going to be it made me laugh.
Yeah.
Well,
or I thought it might make somebody else laugh, which is more important.
Like
we're the generation that created a hit TV show based around people sending home movies of other people being hit in the balls with things.
that's true.
Absolutely.
Right. So our calibration is not normal.
No.
And it's not even like the fake prank videos on YouTube or anything. No, a lot of this shit was legit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Here's another video of some kid whacking his dad in the nuts with a wiffle ball bat. Thump.
Yep.
Right.
That wasn't staged. That was Johnny just got a wiffle ball bat and walked up to his dad and racked him.
Or someone hitting someone else in the ball, with a golf club.
Yep.
So instead of 40, did you sell 2?
Yeah. Hey, and it's not like that show wasn't popular for like over a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 20 years this show's been on the air.
It put a massive stamp on Gen X.
Yep.
We were raised on America's Funniest Home Videos, hose water, and neglect.
Yep.
And that
serial children.
Jackass.
The weakest of our generation ended up as segments on unsolved mysteries.
Yes.
As God intended.
Exactly. And then
Natural
the rest of
selection.
us fell asleep listening to that theme song in Robert Stack's voice, which I aspire to be that silky smooth in my delivery of things. It's like.
But yeah, it's like we're not built the same.
Nope.
No.
Like boomers, they got their own thing.
Yep.
It's mostly fucking things up is what it is.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got us who, we created the internet because we had nothing else to do.
Yep.
The internet we know today is the result of Gen Xers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, the internet was invented before us. We made it what it is today.
Well, all of us Gen Xers were like, hey, these bulletin boards we dial up and get into and play, trade wars and stuff. Wouldn't it be cool
I
if we
miss
had a
Trade
bigger
Wars.
one? Oh, trade wars was so fun.
That was so much
But
fun.
But what would it be like if we had a bigger bulletin board that we could dial into? That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess this is all kind of our faults.
Yeah, kind of. But, if this is considering what every other generation seems to be fucking up,
Yeah, that's fair too.
Yeah.
I mean, because our internet was cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we let millennials in on it.
Yeah.
And that's when things started going to shit.
Yeah.
The TikToks and the Vines and
So let's try to bring this back to something that, resembles, I don't know, something. Anyway.
So AOC's tits.
I've got a
Yeah.
checklist actually.
Yeah, it's a checklist.
AOC's tits.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Her single best asset.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess let's not forget nipples. Without them, tits would be pointless.
Fair enough.
I'm here all week. Try the veal. Tip your servers. I actually did have something I wanted because I was kind of saving this because I knew I was going to be talking to you guys tonight. And I want to just to see what you guys think about this. Did you see Kathy Hochul's recent announcement about how she wants New York to be the first state that bans 3D printers that are capable of printing firearms?
Oh, I did see this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll let Tom, since you're a 2A contributor, I'll let you answer this. This is going to be a good one.
First of all, anyone who thinks that it's going to be that difficult to jailbreak those 3D printers is literally too retarded to breathe without a constant reminder to inhale and then exhale a moment later. It's not going to accomplish a damn thing. Plus, it's not like they check IDs when you buy a printer anyways.
No.
So
true.
You're in New York and you want a 3D printer, go to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
We just talked about this. They're gonna ban them, and then they'll be like, well, it's because Connecticut didn't ban the printers. They just go over there.
Yeah. Well, there's that. There's as you said, it's very easy to jailbreak that kind of stuff. It's not. I mean, I've got those two things sitting over there, and if some schlub like me can update the firmware and fix the hardware, and I mean realistically, as I'm starting to get into it, you can build a 3D printer with a bunch of random parts.
3D printers?
You can spend about $45 on online, and
I've seen someone do it with Legos.
Yeah,
Legos and stepper motors. That's literally all you need.
So it's like that's another aspect to it. Is if I can build it. If I can build the thing that builds the thing you don't want me to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
you're kind of lost there anyways. And what are they going to do? Then start saying, oh, yeah, you can't have private, CNC milling machines?
Yeah.
You can't have lathes?
Yep.
Because
have a lathe. You can't.
You know what you're doing. You can use all of those.
Yeah. I don't know if you see it. I mean, he's got a 3D printer behind him, but if you look right there is there's a milling machine right over here behind my. So I mean,
right.
I don't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, it's.
Have you seen the laser?
The what? Yeah, I've seen water jets, lasers, all kinds of stuff that'll just cut all kinds of interesting things out. You know that if you have something that'll cut sheet, you can cut out all the pieces you need to bolt together to make an AR-15 lower in slices. You can. I mean, anybody who's spent any time in the 2A space, you can make guns out of anything. It's
my favorite example is a video that's since been pulled, I think, but a dude built a AK receiver out of a shovel.
Yeah.
Yep. I've seen
there's probably entire villages in Afghanistan that have if in Afghanistan that have shovel built AKs.
Yeah, but
So
it's like, what are you going to do? Restrict shovels?
I'm sure they would
I
if
mean,
they
yeah,
could.
yeah,
You
I'm
know,
sure they will.
it the whole idea of restricting 3D printers that won't print this one thing that, frankly, let's be honest, most people who own 3D printers aren't looking to print anyways.
Very true.
Most of
Yeah,
the people who get into 3D printers, it's because there's some particular thing they're really into.
Miniatures.
Most of those are not going to be guns, miniatures, you know, all kinds of things.
Yeah,
You know,
and I know a guy that's in the process right now of 3D printing his entire D&D world. Like he's got a dining room at his house with like 7 or 8 tables on it, and he's just because he wants to. He's 3D printing an entire world.
right. And it's, that's what most people are getting 3D printers. What New York is going to do is drive up the costs for getting into 3D printing at all, which is going to hurt a lot of smaller businesses that might potentially start, because 3D printing is a really cost effective way to get into manufacturing
yes, it
Oh,
is.
for sure.
businesses.
Well, on top of that, look at all the STEM
Uh-huh.
classes and stuff that use 3D printer as a way to get kids into STEM, and
Yep.
into things like that. I mean, the turnaround time on, from concept to part with a 3D printer is shortened by a lot. I mean,
Yep.
I ran a business not that long ago. We would design a thing, 3D print it, and check specs and everything, and then we would make it out of metal. But the first prototype was made out of plastic, and it reduced the amount of time it took for us to develop that by weeks.
Yeah.
And
And I know of entire businesses that are premised on 3D printing the product. They've just got 3D printer farms,
Yep.
because you can buy a 3D printer, and then when you need a second one, you get a second one, and it scales up pretty easily to a point. I mean, after a certain point, it doesn't make sense to have 3D printers.
Yeah.
But a lot of these businesses are side hustles for people, or, whatever. And it's a fantastic way to democratize manufacturing.
Yep.
yeah, well,
And
I mean,
they're going to throw a wrench in this, because some people build guns with these, which, wait, they already and build it. If gun control works, why do they need to ban 3D printers that can make guns when they've already banned the 3D printed guns?
Yep. Or why can you still go to the hardware store and buy all the stuff you need to make a functional firearm? I
Uh,
mean, let's ban the hardware store. But
yeah,
okay,
well,
so that is one of my things that like I said, I was actually planning on bringing that up to talk to you guys because, like I said, I have thoughts on the matter, and like we kind of pretty much already covered everything. It's stupid. It's just hampering legitimate, causes. Plus, technically, with the exception of like New York and the whole thing with Dexter Taylor. You want to talk about massive infringements for doing something that's been a thing as long as this country has existed, which is making your own firearms. And the guy was an engineer. He didn't do anything wrong. He just made a bunch of firearms with parts that were legal when he bought them for personal, because it was fun to him, and now he's rotting in prison,
mhm.
which I don't like.
Nope.
But yeah, and just for the record, in case anybody's thinking about, since I brought this up, dear listeners, if you decide you want to get into 3D printing for firearms' sakes, there are tons of resources out there to find them. I'm going to tell you something honest here. It's not as easy as they make it sound like when you're trying to get started. There is a friggin' learning curve to 3D printing things that I still have not completely figured out. Like I said,
yeah.
there's a learning curve. So if it's something you're thinking about getting into, like, hey, I'm going to go buy a 3D printer and start printing guns tomorrow, no, you're not. Just be prepared. There's you're going to go through a shit ton of filament figuring out how things work. On the upside, it's not horribly priced. I mean, you can get. I just got 4 kilograms of it for $36.
I do. I am fortunate that if I decide to go into the 3D printing gun market, I do know somebody who's pretty good at it. It's
That's
this
a
guy named
plus.
Cody Wilson.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Defense Distributed.
Ah, okay. That's why that sounds familiar.
I had talked to him about a
He's
couple things,
not great with
and
association always, but
yeah, but he was like, yeah, just you get into it, give me a holler, I'll help you out. Like,
it's a good resource to
nice.
have.
Like, yeah, the guy who basically created the Liberator.
Yep, that's
Like,
kind of cool.
always good to know people.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. I don't know nobody. Actually, that's not entirely true. I know you guys now. I yeah, I know some cooking people. That's
There you go.
that's about as far as it goes. I eat real good.
Well, on the food side, my mom went to high school with Paula Dean.
That's cool.
Oh,
I like Paula Deen. I mean, yeah,
Oh yeah,
she had some snafus, but she puts butter in everything. God bless her heart.
yeah. Because butter's good.
Exactly. Butter tastes like happiness. The people who try to demonize butter are horrible.
fat is flavor.
Fat is flavor. And more
But it
importantly,
is.
a lot of that, between the, Make America Healthy initiatives saying that the food pyramid was a bunch of shit, which because it basically was.
Well, it was upside down, apparently.
Yes, more or less.
Yeah, that pretty much. Well, the New York Times actually did a really good piece years ago about the origins of the food pyramid. And it was really just about the grain,
Yeah, there was the grain industry saying, hey, we
the
need
grain
to sell
lobby.
more grain.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, well, we're going to go grain heavy.
And don't get me wrong, I love bread as much as the next guy, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
but it's
yes, bread created civilization because harvesting crops and being able to process them into sustainable food was a very huge step
Yep.
for our species. But overdoing it's never a good thing. I mean, all
It's a
things in
very-
moderation.
bread is a very calorically dense food.
Yep, and it's delicious.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you're
especially when
really,
you take another calorically dense food, butter,
yeah,
put it on the bread,
right.
Yes.
But
and then it's heaven.
my personal opinion, and I could be completely off, I think it's a waste of grain because you should put it in a big vat for a minute and make whiskey out of it.
I can understand that. That's a good use of grains. I'll grant that. However, speaking as someone who spent several years with their primary caloric intake being whiskey, not real good for sustaining healthy lifestyle.
But it sustains happy lifestyle.
Yeah,
That's
very
true.
very
I
fun.
was much happier when I was,
Okay, in fairness, Guinness is liquid bread.
Yes, it is.
basically, yeah. That was the conclusion the instructor came to. Was Guinness was the primary source of everything that was keeping him from being malnourished. Like they did all
Yeah.
kinds of labs on him and blood work and all this other shit.
I mean, it's you look at what all goes into it. There is a nutritional component to it.
Oh, for sure. And it's got vitamins and minerals and
Yeah, it may not be the healthiest form of nutrition.
no, but it'll sustain you for a while at least.
Yeah, like man can't live on bread alone, but if you make it beer,
Yes,
you
indeed.
probably can.
Yeah, and you don't get dysentery.
Good point.
And if Gen X knows anything, we know that on the Oregon Trail,
Yeah, you
Dysentery
die of
kills.
dysentery. Yeah, it does.
Gen-
Oh,
we Gen Xers grew up really worried about dysentery, quicksand,
Yeah.
the Bermuda Triangle,
yeah.
and
I-
thinking we were going to have to go through a field of lasers.
Yeah. Did you notice that for a while in every movie you had to get through a field of lasers to accomplish anything?
Yeah, it's when it was a movie about babysitting, it just really threw me though.
That's fair.
Actually, there was one they did that in. I was actually just making shit up, and then I went, "Oh wait, Vin Diesel did that movie.
The pacifier. Yep.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah. That's one of my superpowers too. Is you can tell me like 2 lines out of a movie. There's a 90% chance I'll get it right. I briefly managed a mom and pop video store in the late '90s, and I was that guy. They'd come in. I'm looking for that movie with that guy. You know, he's got the head, and I'd be like, "Okay, you want Mask, Eric Stoltz? Yeah, that's over there."
Yeah. We when I was a kid, my parents, called me. It's like, yeah, we're gonna watch a movie. I'm like, okay, what are we watching? It's like, you just tell us when you figure it out. Because they told me it was something we'd seen before, but that I liked. I'm sitting there. The opening credits hadn't even started. There's just a little bit of like chatter, and I went, "Oh, Alien Nation."
Yeah.
And my parents just sat there and went, they're like, "Okay, how do you know this and make the grades that you make?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because
If I
this
had
is
$1
fun.
for every time I heard that particular kind of phrase, that and the one my dad was renowned for saying is, "How can somebody that reads as much as you spell so badly?" Because to this day, I thank God for spell check. Because otherwise, people be reading things from me like, "This guy's got TBI." And there's no other explanation.
Well, here's the funny thing: I'm ADHD and dyslexic, and I'm a writer.
That's
Working
a
for
choice.
myself working for myself as a freelancer.
Yeah, that's.
I'm like, that's a combination that should put my family's homeless.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of doing it on hard mode, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, yeah,
That's playing Mega Man without the cheat codes. That's.
yeah. It's kind of like the AI image I saw of a black disabled kid with a pride flag and a Star of David, and it said, "Mofo's living on the hard mode."
Yep.
you know,
I
it's,
mean,
I was like, yeah, I did not take the easiest settings in my character creation.
yeah.
Um, and it's like someone did a video of what it kind of looks like for dyslexic with the way the letters jump around, and I shared it, and a friend of mine's like, "And you're a writer?" And I'm like, "A professional one."
It's like, no, I'm not a writer. I make a living writing. There's a
Yeah,
difference.
it's
Because
like kind of like when I get some little chump on X, like, "Who asked for your opinion?" Well, the people who pay me for it.
yeah,
I make money with my opinion, bitch.
here's my Substack. These are the people who pay me for it.
Yeah, I'm also here and here. I literally get paid for my opinion. That means someone's asking for it and wants it badly enough to give me money.
Yeah.
So shut up.
I'm starting to reach the point where I'm going to start telling people they have to pay me to keep my opinions to myself because I think that's going to work better for me.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I can make a living with my singing. I start singing,
Excellent.
people pay me to shut up.
Yeah. I was saying if I don't find a job pretty soon, I'm actually going to start a reverse OnlyFans. I'm just going to email
Oh.
people nudes until they pay me to stop.
But that works. I'm
By the way, I'll let you guys get ahead of the curve. It's $4.95 a month. I won't email you anything abusive.
all right.
Like, what is that? A melted ice cream cone? Jesus. Ugh.
Money sent.
I did
Oh.
not. I didn't need that mental picture. I really didn't.
Yeah, you're welcome. That'll be $4.95.
Yeah, I'm going to bed after this. I'm gonna have nightmares now.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to pull up like Sydney Sweeney's Instagram or something to kind of as a palate cleanser.
Yes, that's a solid palate cleanse right there. Right?
Speaking of great tits.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when it comes to what do they think about politics. She's got great tits.
Look, I'm just happy she's not a rabid lefty.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
It's always nice to find somebody that's a little not
Well,
infuriating.
The way I've heard it put is that those actors who literally never say anything about politics, they're the ones on the right.
Pretty much, as I
Yeah,
understand it.
yeah, because they don't get work if they say anything.
Yeah,
So
it's very few that can keep a career while talking about politics.
Yep.
yeah,
Like Nick Searcy keeps working, Adam Baldwin keeps working, but both of them are better talents than their IMDb listing would suggest.
yeah.
That's fair.
You know, of course, now I'm biased because I'm a huge Firefly fan,
Oh, me too.
and
We could
so
go for
Adam.
hours.
I'd say that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we could have nerd themed conversations on this
Oh
one. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We all aim to misbehave here.
Stitch
Yeah,
in a Jane hat.
That's
You know,
yeah.
um, Firefly's the family series.
yeah,
You know,
Okay, now
so
I would say in terms of Firefly, because I hold an opinion on this matter, and it may not necessarily always make people happy, but it's the way I feel about it. How do you react when people start circulating rumors that they're making a comeback or they're gonna launch more episodes?
no,
it pisses me off
yeah,
because don't tease.
yeah. It's not fair. I mean, they put out Serenity to button that up.
Yep.
The all those. I mean, it would be great, but all those people that were in that series have one either died. I mean, there's been
Ron
several
Glass
people
is
that have
dead.
been
Yeah,
dead. Yeah,
Yep.
and then or they've moved on, or they've aged out. I
Yep.
mean, they might make a movie, one
Yeah.
standalone film, but there's no way they're bringing the series back on that.
if they ever tried it, they'd probably like reboot it with like say Zoe and Wash's kid on his own
Yeah,
ship.
yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe you throw River in there, just for some continuity with the original cast.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
And you can
sure
get cameos from everyone else as you
Nathan
go.
Fillion and yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You could
because I
probably
mean,
get
it's
a
like I know Nathan would. He said he would jump at the chance to do it again.
yeah,
Marina Baccarin said she'd do it. Joel State would do it
yeah,
if they could schedule it.
Yeah.
But cameos are easier to work in.
Exactly. You couldn't do a full on just like here we're gonna 25 years later here we go. Nah.
Yeah, and you know, after the events of Serenity, you've got too much story that would need to be told
yeah,
That's fair. Yeah.
because the operative in that saying oh yeah they're I told the council they didn't need to worry about the Tams now,
Yeah.
right.
but it kind of hints that I don't but I think they know that I'm not their man anymore. Kind of hints that there could be they could still come after Simon and River.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, if you reboot it 25 years later and you're like, hey, yeah, now suddenly they're after him. The hell, man?
yeah,
Yeah. They just waited this long and then something came out.
Yeah.
They declassified the files.
you
Yeah.
can't stop the signal. You can't.
Yeah. And, of course, you can't stop the signal. Stab him with a sword.
Yeah,
Yep.
Apparently
killed
they
me.
can.
Guy killed me with the sword. Mel.
How
It's
weird
like,
is that?
yeah,
But it every time those things go around, it annoys me because I know it's not true.
yeah,
Yep.
And it's, they're doing it for clicks.
yeah,
They're doing it because they know people get excited and share it
Yep.
and get eyes on their page or whatever.
Yep.
And it's not going to happen. They don't have any news. Or if they have anything, it's where Nathan said in an interview, I'd love to do Firefly again. Well, that's not the same thing as saying there's going to be a reboot.
right.
Exactly.
Don't tease about shit like that.
See,
Well,
I think it's the opposite
here,
of rage bait. It's hope bait.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. And being a child who grew up in the late '80s and early '90s and stuff, it's like I'm still waiting for them to finish the Highlander reboot. Like
Yeah.
Henry Cavill hurt himself, and now now we're screwed. I don't know if that thing will ever get
I
off
don't think
the
it's
ground.
no.
But here's the thing: it's like Freddie Mercury died. How are you gonna have a soundtrack?
It's just a shame they never did any sequels to the original Highlander. Ever.
Yeah.
There were no
There was
sequels
no direct
at
sequel. That's
all.
true.
Although, are we going to start talking about that?
I was
Did
saying
you
the
see the
Renegade
director's
cut
cut?
of Highlander 2
Yeah, the
wasn't
director's
terrible, at
cut
least.
wasn't bad.
Yeah, because
They,
we took out the entire fucking planet bullshit,
yeah, that
Yeah,
whole
that
Planet Zeist shit went away.
which
Oh
was
God.
retarded.
Oh, that was so stupid.
yeah. It's like, no, we were aliens together, but now all of a sudden we're medieval peasants in Scotland and
Yeah, we were aliens together and really tight, but then we end up in Scotland, and I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
But I'm still enough of a threat that these people from another fucking planet want to come here and kill me.
a
Yeah.
couple hundred years later.
Yeah, hundreds of years later.
Yeah, it's
So weird. You know, fun fact. Christopher Lambert didn't even know how to speak English when they started that movie. He did that entire damn movie phonetically. Is that
Yep.
crazy or what?
That's I mean, it explains a lot though when you think about it, because I mean, this is, I've got one my mom's side of the family were Scottish, so the first time I saw that movie, and I'm going, he does not sound like any of my great uncles.
No.
And then you've got Sean Connery,
An actual Scotsman.
an actual
Yeah.
Scot, as
Yeah.
an Egyptian who's service to the King of Spain.
Charles V, right?
I'm like sitting here going, he doesn't look remotely Egyptian.
No.
Like,
Or Spanish. Well, I mean, he could be Spanish, but he doesn't sound Spanish. He's the
No.
he's one. He's got
It's
a,
like-
Sc-
The only
a
person in
Scottish
the movie that
accent.
sounds like a
only
Highlander.
Egyptian. He's only remotely Egyptian if you look at like he's part of the Ptolemaic dynasty
Yeah, that
Who were
would work
Greeks.
because they were yeah,
because they were
exactly.
Greeks.
Yeah.
But that's like the only way he looks Egyptian, and that's not what people think of when they see someone going, I'm Egyptian.
Yeah,
And I'm like, he's the actual Scotsman.
yeah,
Yep. There was.
At the risk of doing the whole no true Scotsman fallacy, Christopher Lambert was no true Scotsman,
that's true.
but
Yep.
Sean Connery was.
All I have to say to address that is the cocaine in the 80s was amazing.
Hey, cocaine's a hell of a drug. Just saying.
Yep. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh yeah, it's
I've heard. Theoretically,
Rick,
allegedly.
Rick James taught me many things, and that was one of them.
Yep.
well, buddy of mine a few years ago, we were talking about one of the baseball teams that won the World Series that year, and it's like they were on more cocaine than every stripper in Vegas put together. Right? As we came to the conclusion that cocaine is a performance enhancing drug.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It's like I can look at some of the mechanisms to see how it can be in certain cases, especially like with focus.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't care what happens to your heart, sure.
Yeah, but it's like you are going to be keeping your eye on the ball will not be a problem.
No, everything turns into slow motion.
You're like that
Allegedly.
little squirrel in Over the Hedge.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
And he
Hit
drinks
the
the energy
caffeine.
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like everything slows. Yeah. Yeah. That's just your entire life. When they talk about, you got to learn to slow the game down. Yeah, they're actually talking about cocaine.
Yes.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's actually kind of a fun little factoid being a chef. The culinary industry is like the second highest consumers of medical cocaine in the industry, due to the first being financial guys, apparently, which I did not realize was a thing, and I also did not realize it was apparently common knowledge. When I was a young chef and a new growing chef, one of the owner's friends came up to me and he proceeds to start asking me all these questions. And eventually he finally just comes out and he's like, "So are you holding or what?" I'm like, Oh, that's why we've been talking about cocaine for the last 35 minutes. No, I do not partake. Thank you for asking. Why? And he's like, well, dude, you work all, he's like, and I was in culinary school at the time. So you go to school all morning, you come here and you work till midnight. It's 2:30 in the morning and you're out here drinking. How do you do that? It's like, I'm 23.
Yeah, if you're not doing that when you're 23, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Exactly. I mean, I would stay out till sunrise, go home, take a shower, go to school, fall asleep in the afternoon for like 2 hours, and then go to work, and then do it all over again.
Yeah. So I did that. I did that plenty when I was in the Navy.
Yep. Or
So,
the Navy was apparently how my brother learned how to sleep standing up with his eyes open.
well, like in boot camp, they would, you're not getting a lot of sleep in boot camp anyways. And if you have mid watch, your sleep is completely fucked. So what they would tell us to do is if you feel like you're going to fall asleep, stand up at the back of the classroom. Because a lot of boot camp you are in classrooms. And so you'd stand up at the back. Well, you're fucking tired. You've got to stand up. You've got to remain standing
Yep.
with your eyes open, but you also want to catch a nap. You figure it out. We had a guy one day. We're sitting there, and I don't even remember what the class was, but all of a sudden I hear this commotion in an entire row of those standard school desks shifts forward about 6 feet. He had passed out standing up, went forward, hit them, pushed everything forward, started away. And the instructor just kind of looked at him and was like, okay, he did everything we told him to do and it didn't work. I just always sitting going, he's about to get dropped. He's about to get dropped. No, they let it slide. I'm like, well,
He tried.
yeah, he did everything they asked of him.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's nice to know they understand, you know?
There was always this legend that as long as you tried, they would let a lot of things slide. Like, for example, the PT testing to get out of boot camp is well above the standard pass fail for PFT. And what every class would hear about, or every group would hear about someone who didn't quite hit that standard, but they got a pass anyways because the instructors could tell they never gave up. And it was like a lot of people were like, I'm not sure if, we weren't sure if that was true or not. But we had a guy who was having trouble the last test on the last day before graduation. He was having a problem with sit-ups because the Navy makes you do sit-ups weird. Because you have to do it like this, and your elbows have to touch. So it's really more of a crunch. You can't build any momentum or anything. And he kept going for it the whole time, and they passed him.
Well,
he had met the minimum by a fair bit, but because he never freaking quit, they were like, okay, cool. Now, it's also possible that while they're watching everybody, they just didn't realize he didn't get enough. But
I mean,
it's also very possible. It's also possible that's what it was really about. They know he gave everything he had.
Yep. I mean, that's an important factor. I mean, at the end of the day.
And again, he was above the actual Navy minimum.
Yeah, he just didn't hit the cutoff for the graduation. So.
Right, which was basically would put you in the excellent range for a PFT score. In fairness, if you're not excellent at a boot camp, you're never, on the physical fitness side, you're never going to be. Well, the thing about veterans is that we are not healthy. We are not well.
I can concede that.
Well, I mean, think about the way boot camp works. You walk into this environment stripped of everything, completely resembling an identity. you are turned into looking exactly like everyone else around you. Weeks are spent berating you just for existing, stripping every bit of self esteem you have ever accumulated in your entire life. Then they build you back up to be what they want you to be, which has nothing to do with learning how to moderate sense of humor, appropriate jokes for the workplace, appropriate language for the workplace, anything that's actually relevant to the civilian world. And in the military, this all works fine. They have trained you to be what they need you to be. And then you're discharged and you go into the real world and you deal with fuckwits.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you find out you're not allowed to knife hand them in the face for
Yeah.
being retarded.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do
It
that,
just doesn't go
but
over
just
real
as
well.
well. The situation has to be right. You have to go into the right industry.
Okay, that's fair.
You know,
Well,
you have
that's
to
why
go
so
into the right
many.
industry.
That's why so many military guys go into law enforcement.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's really just
I mean,
the closest analog we're gonna
I
get.
was about to say that exact same thing. The closest analog.
Firefighting
But
is a lot the same way. Just your the enemy you're fighting isn't a person,
Yep.
but you don't. There's we're not fit for general company. Our sense of humor is dark.
it's the best kind, though.
Yeah, of course. But dark humor is like food. Not everybody gets it.
Right? It's true. Yeah. My
Yep.
my father is a Navy guy. My stepfather was a Navy guy. My uncle's a Navy guy. As a matter of fact, my uncle's is even worse. He was a sub guy.
Oh God.
Oh,
So
geez.
he's a real psycho.
That's my
How's his
stepdad's a sub
husband?
guy.
There's all the rivalries in the military. I was talking with someone today, and I had to explain to them. It's a young kid. His immediate family, no veterans. But I was like, what you have to understand is that the military is like family. We will just frickin' be awful to one another. Absolutely disgustingly awful to one another with the things we will say about them, their branch of service, their MOS, everything else. A civilian does it, and it's war.
Sounds about right.
It's like they can't even make fun of the Coast Guard without us going off. No, 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 no. That's our whipping bitch.
Well, I think that's Space Force now, right?
No, Space Force immediately had more legitimacy than the Coast Guard. Trump's like, okay, we're gonna have the Space Force, and it was like, okay, great. Space Force is the fifth branch of military. But what about the Coast Guard? It's still not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I remember getting into, I accidentally pissed my dad off one time talking about him. My dad was a Navy Seabee. Then
Oh yeah.
then he became, a police officer. And I'm like, well, it's not like the Coast Guard does anything useful. They're just, cops. And he just kind of looked at me like, shit, that came out wrong.
yeah.
I'm in the Navy at the time, so I can talk this shit. But it's like,
But
I crossed the line on that one.
yeah, I could see I might have been a little trouble for that one.
He was not amused.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I didn't mean it that way. Sorry. There is no worse shit talking than the Navy talking to the Coast Guard.
Yeah, and
They're our redheaded stepbrother.
Say what you want to though, but those pilots in the Coast Guard are some badasses. Oh
I will
God.
tease the Coast Guard, but if you want action in a time of peace, join the Coast Guard.
Oh.
yeah,
You're more
Between the
likely
Coast
to see
Guard
action.
and the rescue swimmers, I mean, like that one guy down in Texas.
the helicopter diver guy.
Yeah, the rescue swimmer, that guy. Damn.
Yeah. Or the boarding party that hopped on the freaking drug submarine.
Yeah.
You see that a few years ago? It's like banging on the. I'm like, if you want action and it's a time of peace, you could do worse than the Coast Guard.
Oh yeah, no, like they stay busy. I'll give them that.
Well, I mean, there's no shortage of dumbasses that will get themselves in trouble.
Right.
You have to go pick out of the surf too.
Right. There's legitimately calls to accomplish your purpose for being. In the Navy, mostly when I was in, it was, people going on med cruises or Westpac cruises, which is just routine stuff.
Yeah.
And I was in court school going through my A school when Black Hawk Down happened. And, so it's like, for us, it was a lot more real. But the fact of the matter was, we watched that shit on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, they told us we were being deployed. And we were like, most of the dudes in my class were like, oh no. And I'm sitting here going, good, I want to get some. Because I'd watched 2 Americans drag through the streets.
Yeah, that
pissed me off.
Yeah,
I wanted to get some.
Yeah, that was I was still young when that happened, but I was not happy about it.
I took it personally.
Yeah.
I took it very, very personally. But, like today, there's always going to be certain groups that will see more action. But not everyone has it in them to be a Navy SEAL.
That's very true.
Not everyone is going to make Delta Force.
You're a writer, Tom, so you could have been a SEAL.
That's true. I have ability to write books, so I could totally be a SEAL.
I'm going to get killed for saying that.
And you're on a podcast.
Yeah, on a podcast. But, and then you got someone like Brandon Herrera, who is both Delta Force and a SEAL.
Yep.
Don't even get me started. But he is a Kentucky colonel. So.
That is legitimate, yes.
Yep.
I think they need to change his uniform, the Army uniform they have, the unsub house, and put Colonel birds on it.
Yeah.
I think Cody needs to teach him how to make chicken.
Yes. Cody needs to teach him how to make chicken.
Yep.
Fried chicken.
Well, I'll be at his event, so hopefully I'm gonna in Vegas next week. So,
I still haven't been able to get the 3D Brandon Herrera in a jar printed yet. I'm still working on it.
I know. I mean, I don't have one either. Just so
you'll have one once I get it done. I promise. I'll send you one. It's just like I said. I keep getting haystacks instead of actual decent prints. So.
Well, Red Pill Phil has an actual Lego Brandon Herrera. Actually, I think it's probably about 6-8 inches tall. But
yep.
I told him I need a Forced Valor T-shirt on that character and give him to me.
Perfect.
And I'll put him in a jar. But
yeah,
we'll get there.
Yeah, eventually. But hopefully, I'll get some good pictures and survive the ordeal. Brandon's running for Congress, so he probably won't kill me or punch me or do anything like that. I may disappear, but
he won't hit you. But that's what he's got Cody for.
That's fair.
And Rich.
You know what? I would take a punch from any of those guys, just for the lols.
Just to brag about it.
Yeah, I've been hit by absolute worthless sacks of shit.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, nobody I've ever been hit by is worth talking about.
It's like, hold on, let me take my glasses off. Those are expensive. Let her fly. I'll take one for the team.
Listen, with the possible exception of J Wolf, I'm not letting him hit me.
Oh no,
or
I wouldn't survive
for that matter.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want him to hit me.
No,
at all.
I'm not sure I'd want him to hug me. I mean,
that's fair.
Well, I mean, I'm a hugger, so I'll go in for it. What the hell?
I don't know. I don't know if my back could take that. That's a big boy.
Yeah, he might be able to get something to pop, though. I mean,
I will say though, if we're gonna pick anyone from that bunch to hit us, I would rather it be Veteran with a Son.
Yeah, he'd probably do it the nicest way possible.
He's such a nice guy. He'd feel bad about it.
Yeah, I would say he might, depending on why he's doing it, he might pull it.
Yeah. And honestly, even if he does put everything in it, he's got a little less ass to put behind it than everybody else.
Know what? I think To be completely honest, and I'm probably going to pay for this later, maybe Trout.
Okay, yeah, Trout.
Trout's a pretty spindly little dude. I don't
know. Them skinny guys, they put a lot of stank on it though.
He's
Trout-
wiry. He's wiry.
Wiry.
Trout talks way too much shit
Yeah, he
to
does.
not know how to fight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, throwing a punch, hey, knowing how to pick something up and hit you with it is totally different than just punching you, right? I guarantee he fights dirty, but if he had to just throw one punch, I'm probably sure I'd survive it.
Okay, survive it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was going to say, I've taken some pretty solid haymakers on the chin and been all right. So I think I could take one.
yeah. My
I'm
nose
pretty-
is crooked the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm pretty
reason.
sure if I could survive a punch from anyone but J Wolf.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Maybe Nick.
Nick would hurt. That would
Yeah.
hurt. Oh, that would
So
hurt.
would Rich.
Actually, Cody, or not Cody, but Eli. Eli would. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So that guy would hit you at least 3 times before you even saw the punch
Yeah.
coming.
Oh yeah. But like, I've seen some of Rich's lifting videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to be able to
lift any of his friends out of a
All
fire.
of his friends, yeah.
yeah.
I saw.
And
Yeah, I
I
saw
don't
that
see him
one.
talking about.
Went,
I don't think he's talking about J Wolf in that one either.
No, Nick is the top end on that one.
Yep.
Well, Nick is not nearly as heavy as he was.
No, but
I can't.
he's
I
still a
don't
big
think. Yeah, but I don't think that Nick probably is anywhere past maybe 240 at this point.
No,
He's dropped a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
So, and I outweigh him by 20 pounds at this point. So, I mean, I'm not going to fight him.
I got 15 on him.
Yeah.
I got like 100 on him, so I'm not.
But his
saying too
is
much, but-
muscle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
That's
and
where
mine
the
is
difference comes in.
and mine is flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got about 160 pounds of muscle, and the rest is flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not entering.
I'm not
this
fat, I'm
conversation.
flavorful.
No, that's my biggest pissing and moaning thing about being temporarily underemployed. Well, unemployed really. Let's call a spade a spade. The fact that I don't have any disposable income right now is I had to stop going to the gym, and I realized I don't have the proper discipline to do like body weight training that has any sort of significant impact on me.
Well, because after a certain point, to do body weight training that has significant impact on you, you're doing it for like 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's where the lack
True.
of discipline. Like, I'll do 25 push-ups, and my wife's got me doing yoga with her in the mornings and stuff. But that's about it.
Yeah.
I've maintained my weight for the last 3 months, but I guarantee you, I've lost a significant portion of muscle mass, and it hurts my little feels because I was making some pretty good progress. I'm not where I used to be, but I was getting to the point where one of my podcast buddies and his wife were talking about coming up this way possibly in the summer, and I told them when we meet in person, I'm gonna Jennifer Graham up over my head like Dirty Dancing. So
damn.
I've been doing shoulder presses to get and core muscles to try so I can lift him up over my head, and he's only like $150 or something like that, $160. So I'm like, I can do that no problem because I was shoulder pressing like 280. So I'm like, yeah, that's no problem. I can get him up there. No, I'm all of a sudden concerned that I might not be able to lift him up properly no more.
Well, that's not dead weight though.
Yeah.
So
and of course there will be footage of it. It will be posted to the socials because everybody's going to need to see this.
Oh,
you got to do it in water. You have to do it in water, man.
I have a pool, so
Yeah.
it's.
If you learned anything from the movie,
Yeah,
that's where you
start off
practice
with
that.
the water, yeah.
Start in the water.
And never get it right in the water, but then do it
perfectly
on dance floors.
Yes.
Hey, and
Because if that's something I've learned from movies, it's that you can fuck it up through practice all the time. When it actually matters, you'll nail it.
When you come down to crunch
absolutely.
time, even though you're wearing smooth sole shoes, you'll be able to get that person up over your head.
Yeah, you were completely unprepared for any of it, but you'll just nail it.
Yeah, and when you run your hand gently down his side, he won't giggle like a little girl.
Or get hard.
Or well, he might do
He
that.
might do that.
Hey, that's how you lift him. Is you've got that
Like a
handle.
handle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be awkward.
All the best things are.
Yeah.
Anything worth doing is worth doing uncomfortably.
Absolutely.
Yep. Just like, I'm not comfortable in my own skin, and I don't think anyone else should be either.
Well, hey, to be fair,
I don't think if I took your skin it would cover me all the way, so I think it'd be pretty awkward. Actually.
Yeah, I don't think I'm comfortable in anyone's skin to be completely
Not with
honest.
that attitude.
No. I mean, I'll give it a try.
Put the lotion in the fucking basket.
It puts the lotion on the skin,
Or else it gets the hose again.
or else it goes to Buffalo Public Schools again.
Man,
I was at the interannual meeting when that shit dropped.
Oh jeez.
I came home because I was working the whole weekend. Came home and I'm like, I'm taking Monday off. I'm not gonna write jack shit. I am fucking exhausted. I'm just gonna sit here and watch Unsub. I'll get a good laugh.
Nope.
And then Rich.
And I got so fucking pissed. I immediately jumped on Town Hall.
Yeah.
Man.
Wrote about
You know
that.
what?
Reached out to Rich. Interviewed him that night.
You know what? There are very few things that stir a person, in my personal opinion, more than seeing somebody who is probably one of the toughest people on the face of the planet break down. You could. It's just. I mean,
Well,
it's impossible
it's
to just like
genuine and
yeah. And so in the fact, oh Lord, don't even get me started about the local media and the way that the foul and absolutely foul. Hell, your X handle was
absolutely foul for a
absolutely
long time.
foul for a long time, and which is how you and I started interacting was over that entire thing because I was trolling Buffalo Public Schools hard, just like the rest of the community. Hey, drink. Yeah. So, but that strikes a chord with people. I don't think that he set out to do that. I think he needed to get something off his chest. I'm glad to see that it's actually having an impact. I mean, at the very least, the leadership at that school system's changed, and it's in the hands of people who I hope will do a good job. And
they had all the hard part done for them when they got handed a binder. So
Yeah,
no doubt.
Well,
no doubt.
I talked, like I said, I talked to Rich, and he had told the guys that, look, you guys can this if you want. I just got to get this shit off my chest.
Yeah.
So it was like, whether it was going to be public or not, that wasn't really what he cared about. He needed to talk about it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Rich that a lot of people will not realize, because you watch the podcasts, and he is ripping his friends to absolute shreds. You would sit here and go, if you don't already like him, you'd think he's the biggest asshole. I'm interviewing him, and I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse.
No doubt.
So I got a little choked up talking to him, and I'm like, I'm sorry, this is unprofessional, but I need a moment. And he's like, hey, it's cool. It's cool. We're just having a conversation. He's sitting there trying to calm me down.
Yeah.
Right? He's chilling, trying to bring it down for me.
Mm.
When he's the one experiencing all of this stuff here and now. And he had just flown into Philadelphia to get part of this program to or event to help find some of the missing kids in Buffalo. He was tired, and he's taking the time to help settle me down.
Right.
Anybody who thinks that the character of Rich High, of Angry Cops, who is loud and angry
Yeah.
and, you know, vicious with his friends, anyone who thinks that that does not come from a place of love is sorely mistaken.
Yeah.
He is so much more than what they see. I talked to Nick a day or two later because when they dropped a lot of the stuff that was in the binder, I already had that. I had talked to
Yeah.
Nick about all of that. And the way Nick phrased it to me was he doesn't view Rich as a father figure at all. But when he's sitting there and he sees Rich like that, to him, the closest thing he could compare it to was seeing his dad cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
Because
that.
this is not who, this was not the side of Rich they saw. Now, the side they saw was not the side everybody else sees, but even that was not what they were used to.
Right.
And I was like, these guys are fighting the righteous fight.
Yep.
They're standing there and they're going, kids are being hurt. The people who are charged with protecting them are refusing to do so. This is the fight here and now. And they never asked their community,
Yep.
I'm out.
but they never asked their community to do jack shit. We just did
Yep.
because their fight was the righteous fight.
Yeah.
When they, you know, I started doing a lot of the Buffalo videos on my YouTube channel, including ripping the media apart,
Yeah.
ripping the school system's attorney to shreds. It's actually the most viewed video on my channel for a while. And you know, people, I got a lot of followers for that because I'm standing with these guys and their community's like, okay, fine, we got your back. I'd much rather have those kind of folks to my back than the people who will yell, drive, baby, drive when there's a fucking armed federal agent in front of them.
No doubt.
Yep,
Okay.
110%.
When those guys pick a fight, find something else they decide they need to pick a fight over, I'm there.
Yeah. There's this thing, people think that they're just personalities, right?
Right.
There are a lot of people that are like that, but anybody who pays attention or watches for any significant amount of time and watches what these guys do, um, through, I mean, the flooding in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
the Buffalo schools stuff. I mean, anything that goes on that's people are like normal, what you would call a personality. They don't. They're not doing things for the clicks. They're not doing things because they think they're going to get more viewership out of it or anything. They're doing things because they're genuinely concerned and they want to do good things for people in the community. And they they put out what 2-3 videos
Mm-hmm.
max about the flooding in Texas, and that was just essentially, hey, these are people who need help. They weren't trying to gen up followers or make money off of that.
Those
Yeah, it
videos
wasn't.
were
It
those
wasn't done
videos
with look how good we are. It was done
right.
as
Yeah,
these people need your help, guys. Step it up.
Every one of those videos was, hey, this is what's going on. Here's how you can help. Here's what, blah, blah, blah. We know they were knee deep, boots on the ground, trying to help responders, things like that. There's zero video footage of it.
right. Night of
Night
the
of.
very the night it happened, they were out trying to help.
Right. There's no footage that they've published, because I don't know what's on their phone. I'm gonna pretend I do, but they've not published a damn video of them, giving water. Hey, yeah, let's do selfies. They didn't. That's not what they did. Which is where you can tell where the helping came from.
Yeah.
Aware the videos they did about the flooding, about the awareness, about how people can help, things like that was beneficial. It
Yeah.
was useful. They have a large audience. If even 10% of their audience donates $5, that's
That's
hundreds of
millions. Yeah.
thousands. Yeah,
Hundreds of
at
thousands of
least.
dollars.
Easy.
I mean, it's just, I mean, amongst them, and I'm not thinking overlap, but you've got 5 million with this guy and 3 million with this
Yeah.
guy and so on and so forth. And if you just have a few dollars from a portion of that, that's
It-
that's
that's real money,
gigantic.
real
That's
fast.
real money. And that's one of those things that there's been I don't think there's been a single thing since I started following these guys that I haven't thrown in on myself.
Yeah.
And I don't I'm hours and hours and hours away, and normal people don't have time to go and just, I mean, even people like me who would have gone and tried to help with that, they were turning people away. I mean,
Mm.
if you're not a professional and you're in there, you're trying to help with that, you're actually probably more in the way than anything else. But what I can do is I can donate.
Yep.
And I've been donating to causes with them since I started following them, and I haven't been following them that long. I mean, I'll be completely transparent about that. I think I talked about this when I talked to Aaron the first time.
In the Lost
I've only
episode.
been following, yeah, the Lost episode. I've only been following these guys since like January of last year, so about a year now. And if you go back, you can go back. The internet has a long memory, and people can't fake being genuine over long periods of time. You can
Yeah.
fake it for a while, but you can't fake it forever. You'll let the mask slip. And these guys, they're the real deal. I mean, so and there's not been a single person that I've talked to or interacted with who doesn't, back their play. And so, I throw in on that stuff. And I've been backing Brandon since he first started raising money. I've been donating to him. I've going to his event in Vegas next week. I I don't live in Texas. Everybody knows I'm an Arkansas guy, and I'm donating to his cause because he's going to be in Congress.
I bought a
You know,
campaign T-shirt. The only campaign T-shirt I've ever bought was Brandon Herrera, Texas
yeah.
23.
I don't donate to campaigns. I don't. I've donated to Kyle Rittenhouse for his defense fund, and then I've donated to Brandon Herrera. I've done donations for autism awareness back last year. I mean, that there's not something that I can think of that they put up there that I'm not willing to put in on because they're trying to do a good thing for people and they're not trying to do it for themselves.
Yep.
Well, that was when the Buffalo thing happened and I started writing about it. The way my contract with Town Hall works is views over a certain number start impacting how much I get paid for that piece. And I looked at, I was getting pretty good response and I was like, I don't feel right. And I'm like, these guys are donating everything from that episode to this charity. So I sat down with my wife and said, this is what I want to do. And she said, okay.
Yep.
And I donated everything I made on those stories to the same charity
Yeah.
because they weren't making a profit off of it. They weren't making
No.
any money. It felt skeevy making money, the idea of making money off of it. I couldn't live with myself
Because you're a
because,
Yeah.
decent person.
Yeah.
right. And it's, so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to donate to the same charity. When I got my paycheck, I had the numbers. I knew how much of it was for those stories. I donated it and posted the receipt on fucking X just because I made the promise there that I would do it.
Yeah.
And I was doing it for accountability. But, and I kind of hoped other people would do it too, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, these guys seem genuine about everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, it, I mean, you find ways to connect with people. I mean, you know, the autism awareness thing. You know, Eli's son has autism. I've got a really good friend whose son is on the spectrum. My niece's daughter was nonverbal for a long time. We thought she was deaf because she wouldn't react and she didn't talk, you know, like a normal kid would, you know, normal. And so, you know, I've donated to several charities for autism, and when they when I saw theirs, it's like that. Obviously, I'm
Yeah.
gonna back that.
Well, it's like
And
I love the guys, and then I found out my daughter had autism.
yeah, that's right. You and I spoke about this a little bit through chat.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, now I've got more reason to back these guys when they're doing the autism month
Yep. And I'll
because
keep doing it. I don't know how I can top the shoes, but
Um,
I don't know if there's a way to top that. But I'm going to do my best. And if I'll tell you what, um, I'll go on record now. If I ever start making money from my content, uh, I, I'll definitely be donating in the future for autism awareness for veterans. You know, and you know whatever else that they come up with, because
yep.
I mean I think they're doing good things.
yeah, well, unsub is on my bucket list.
Yeah, me too.
I want to be
Yeah,
on
me
unsub.
too. I
I want to be on unsub.
don't even want to be on unsub. I just want to meet the guys.
Yeah. Well, I started out last year when I discovered them, and I was like, I want to have a drink with the guys. That was my goal. I may very well achieve that goal next week. I'll at least have a drink in the same place at the same time. So I don't know if that counts, but
It's
I may
baby
count it.
steps. Baby
Worst
steps.
case
Yeah.
scenario, get close and yell community.
There you go.
Yeah. I
Then
mean, technically, I
they
had a
just
drink at the same place at the same time as them at the live show, so I can.
That's true. You did.
Yep.
fair.
And I
That
was
counts.
I was wearing my Forced Valor T-shirt and my Forced Valor hat, so
Yep.
I made a very solid billboard. Although, and I I'm still salty about the whole like the way buying my tickets worked up. I missed getting Rich's attention when he was doing the floor work by like 3 rows. Just damn it.
Yeah.
Because I was ready for that too. Like, come on, ask me an offender's question. I figured this one out. I know exactly what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I know my superpowers.
Well, Tom, I'll tell you what. If you get an opportunity to do it, I'd be more than happy to be at the same place at the same time with you too, man. Um,
Maybe we can make that happen.
yeah, I'm sure we
I
could
would
figure
also
something out at some
say
point.
that I would be happy to hang out with you guys at some point in the real world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was hoping I asked you if you were going to be at Shot this year, because I was kind of hoping that you would be, so I could raise a glass with you and drink some sort of high
I
dollar
wish I
bourbon.
could. I wish I could.
But maybe next year,
Maybe
or
next year.
sometime in the middle, maybe. Who knows?
Absolutely.
So, on a different topic, um, or the same topic in a different way, what what in the 2A space excites you the most recently?
Jade Struck. She's hot. No.
I
Uh
mean,
no, seriously. Uh the end of the tax stamp for
That's a
NFA
good one.
for
That's a
suppressors
good one.
and short barrel long guns. Um if we can get registration tossed out on top of it,
Absolutely.
we'll be we'll be in my happy place for, we'll have accomplished more than I thought I would ever see in my lifetime.
Yeah, I I I think we do. I don't think it's a gimme. I know that there is precedent for a zero tax in a couple of places, but it's a huge deal. It's a
Yeah.
great big step
Yeah.
in geez, like almost 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a great big deal. I'm curious to see how it goes. I do believe that the that the government is going to be. I mean, they're probably already being completely overrun with forms to get suppressors. I'm about ready
Including
to.
a potato.
Yeah, I was going to say, did
Yes,
you guys see the
yes.
potato got registered?
I wrote about
No.
it for
That
tomorrow.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
did you? Oh, I'll
Yes.
be looking for that one.
Yeah. I was I did say that the form wasn't clear as to whether or not Brian Stelter would count as a tater for suppressor
He looks
purposes.
he looks like a potato for sure.
You know, because his nickname is Tater.
Yeah.
It's unflattering one, and I'm like, we're not really sure if that counts as if he counts as a suppressor or not.
Well, if you shove a gun up his ass, I'm certain he would suppress it.
I
I don't know. I
mean,
kind of figured they'd probably fit in there a little too loosely.
Yeah,
yeah, as I say,
yeah,
suppressors have to be snug,
yeah. That's
allegedly, from
true.
what I understand. I'm not allowed to know anything about suppressors. I live in Illinois.
Uh, well, I live in a free state, and
They're,
you're correct.
they're scary, dangerous, bad things that make criminals more dangerous because
Reasons.
Reasons.
reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that myself. I plan to form a whole bunch of stuff, and as somebody who has held an 0702, I have a whole bunch. Pointing at the thing, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I've made in the past that was registered legally, and so yeah, that getting rid of that, and then also removing the 86 ban on machine guns. I That's a lofty goal, um, but step
But
at a time,
it
baby
is an
steps.
easier it is an easier sell than removing, say, machine guns from the NFA.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should
yeah,
just
Because
remove
you'd
the
still be
NFA, but
right. But unfortunately, there's what we can get,
yeah,
and well, and while I don't think it's an easy thing at all, it's easier to say, look, we repeal the 86 ban, everything's still got to go NFA.
yeah.
All those machine guns got to go NFA. Just then the price drops on everything.
That's true. I mean, I'd be happy to be able to form one of the damn things and not have to have an 0702,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
right.
So I
That's
mean,
me.
it's just or do conversions. Of course, the force reset triggers is, oh my lord, they're just
Yeah.
everybody and their mom is making them. You're seeing people are releasing new products left and right. I think Palmetto has one that they put up for like $186.
Jeez,
Not too long. I think I
that's
got an
steal.
email. So I'm almost certain Palmetto got one for like 186 on sale right now, as a matter of fact. And I saw it was this week, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I have I have got to get myself a couple of those. It's like it's stupid. Just everything is starting to come to a head. It's crazy. All the things that are starting to converge on one another.
Well, you can
It's
take
very exciting.
your base AR-15 with a 16-inch barrel today.
Yeah.
Form one a 11 and a half inch upper
Right.
for it. Form one a suppressor for it.
Right.
Drop a force reset trigger in it, and you've got the equivalent of an M4.
Yes.
In every
For
way that
for just the cost of doing it.
yeah,
You're
the
not
items
paying
themselves. Yeah.
you're not paying $400 in with the two stamps to SBR and one for the suppressor. So I mean, you're the cost of a regular AR and a force reset trigger.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. I mean, so less than $1,000. I mean, you've got an M4.
Yep. And
So
it's
Well,
it's
speaking of cool things I can't do,
Well, we live in a free state, so
Yeah, I know.
Do what, Aaron? If you ever come down to Arkansas, I will be more than happy to uh, let you shoot the stuff that
I
I
told you
have.
my mom lives in Arkansas, didn't I?
I no, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned it, but that was probably towards the tail end of the bourbon conversation.
Oh yeah, well that
Yeah.
explains it.
So like I said, be careful what you say. I might show up.
Well, you know what? Come on.
but yeah, no. Like I said, as long as my in-laws are still kicking, I'm stuck here. So
Well, I think we covered the what was it? I was going to ask something about what your favorite article was that you had written. I
oh, I've written more than a third of the total articles on bearing arms. So picking a favorite is really fucking hard
oh yeah.
because there's been so damn many of them that I will be like, "Oh yeah, this is good." Um, I've done I wrote one for a site a couple of years ago, um, basically shredding the whole. They didn't have repeating guns, and when the Second Amendment was
Oh
written,
Lord.
and I started going through the frickin' puckle gun,
Huckle guns. Yep.
um the air rifle that Lewis and Clark, uh Ghirardelli or whatever. Keep wanting to say Ghirardelli, but that's chocolate. Um,
yep,
but it was like a 21 shot air rifle
yep.
that could take large game. Well, if it could take large game, it could kill people. It was deployed. It was actually purchased by several militaries. So it was a repeating arm sold to militaries as a weapon of war, and no one thought anything about it.
Yeah.
There was a couple of different repeating guns um, at different points. I got into some, incorporate uh, the history, text, and tradition. Also includes incorporation around the Civil War. So let's look at what we had in the Civil War. These are the repeating arms that were on the battlefields of the time. The Henry, the
Yeah.
gun you load on Sunday and shoot all week.
Right.
Because, and it was just I went through this history of repeating arms showing that the founding fathers had the opportunity if they wanted it. They had, if that's just too much firepower was a valid excuse.
Right.
It was right there. Everything, all these things were there, and these were not stupid men.
No.
If I've visited Monticello, you cannot tour that place and not be a little bit in awe of Thomas Jefferson.
I mean, if you just look at the complexity of the device he created to duplicate his letters,
Yeah,
that's I
Mm-hmm.
mean, come
he's
on.
he's got a freaking calendar, like clockwork calendar, in the foyer of Monticello that he designed. Then you got Benjamin Franklin, who, Jesus
Oh,
Christ, what all didn't
yeah.
he? And you're telling me these men did not have the foresight to go, wow, we figured out how to repeat art, these repeating guns. This might advance.
Oh, no, they were
Really?
Yeah.
basically cavemen in powdered wigs. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it was these brilliant men who came up with all these amazing things were literally too stupid to go, hey, this technology we're seeing all around us might get more advanced. We are not the pinnacle of civilization.
I it it boggles my mind to think that people think that they didn't think of that, right? That people didn't think that they didn't write. It's like they didn't write the Second Amendment to consider weapons that the current military has. That's
literally
exactly
what they had.
That's the whole
literally,
point.
that's literally what they said. A regulated militia is regular, as in current army or military standards, and people don't understand. They want to it's the National Guard, and they want to try and pick it apart in ways that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
And my favorite piece for that entire argument is is the the idea somehow or another that people means something completely different in the Second Amendment than it means in every other amendment.
Every other place in the Constitution it says the people. It means the people.
That's right.
But somehow in the Second Amendment, it meant the states, even though the 10th Amendment actually specifies the states.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
obviously you guys just don't get it because you haven't spent enough time at college with, the unwashed masses and, professors and academia who exist purely to prove the validity of academia. Obviously, you guys are.
I've had to actually do something useful with my life. So.
Oh yeah,
yes.
No, that's.
It's infuriating that human beings can't just understand plain English. And there's an interesting theory I have. It really doesn't hold water, but there are those who say that they're not teaching cursive in schools anymore, just so people can't read the original Constitution.
I have heard that.
It is kind of valid because there's people who are like, oh, it exists in current text and print, but they can change that.
Yeah, and
nobody can change the original.
Yeah,
right. Nobody's changing that.
Compare the text.
Right.
You're going to do what you're told it says.
So that argument holds water.
It's why if you want to really understand a primary historical document in another language, it really behooves you to know that other language.
Correct.
Because otherwise you're having to take someone's word for what that translation actually says. Well, every translation introduces some interpretation.
Right.
Because most languages are not a one-to-one swap of English.
Correct. Especially English.
Yeah, especially English.
English to English is confusing as shit.
Look at the arguments about some of the Second Amendment.
Yep.
Well, see, it says a militia, well-regulated militia. Yeah, it also says shall not be infringed.
Yeah.
Well, that just means for the militia, though, because potato.
Which and that just means it's the state. Why the fuck does the government need to protect the government's right to have guns to protect it from the government?
Right.
That's the most retarded argument ever.
Well, come on.
Okay, well, that actually makes a lovely segue into the inflammatory comment I'm going to steer us down, if you guys don't mind. Okay, so this is, speaking of people who don't want to understand the principles behind the Second Amendment, gun ownership, responsible ownership, proper maintenance. What do you guys think about all the leftist people out there that are now posting videos saying, go get a gun, da-da-da-da-da. It's your right to carry your 2A, take it against these ICE bastards and all that sort of stuff.
It's a good way to get people killed.
It is a good way to get people killed, but also thank you for making our point for us.
That's true.
Honestly,
it's funny the number of people who've been like, well, where are the Second Amendment guys? You don't get to decide what we're willing to die over.
Right. So here's my hot take on this. It's like, I want to say that I don't think we said this in this particular episode, but I'm kind of a small L libertarian. Whatever people do in their own houses and lives is their business, and it's none of mine. But I will say one of my favorite things to say is, armed gays don't get bashed. Armed women don't get raped. The gun is the great equalizer, and that is the truest meaning of the Second Amendment you could think of. And people are always like, well, why don't you just be a man and fight with your fists? Well, what does that mean to an 80-year-old grandma when she's up against a 260-pound man?
Yeah.
She's not going to fight him with her fists.
On
It's
average, the average woman is vulnerable to being murdered by the average man with his bare hands.
absolutely
He does not need a weapon to kill her.
no.
She needs a weapon to stop him.
Right.
There is no world where everybody, it's I don't care how much well you know how to fight. There's always someone bigger and meaner than you are. There are gangs, there are groups, there are gaggles of teenagers who accost you on your way to your car from the train station in Joliet, Illinois.
Yep.
You
Right.
know, yeah, you might be able to fight them, but that one guy beating the shit out of four, while it does happen in the real world, is a lot rarer than it is in Hollywood.
Right.
It's a lot easier to do that when everyone's choreographed to come at you one at a time.
Right.
Yep.
You know, I've seen guys do it. You had that dude with the American flag at one of the ICE protests.
Yeah,
Oh, that guy! I
that
saw
was a
that.
great video.
That
You
guy
know,
was whooping ass and taking names.
yeah, I mean, but notice how he knew how to move against multiple opponents.
Well, they
Most
were really those guys were also. I mean, even the guy who with the bullhorn who was in his ear took a while to engage him. Even after he'd gotten hit one time, he came around and he was like waiting for his opportune moment
Yeah,
to stick a jab in there.
but
So I mean,
but most of the time you're not getting, there's too many cases where just use your fist is a good way to get yourself killed because it's not about knowing how to box or
no,
knowing jujitsu or knowing karate or knowing whatever. It's about, you criminals only have to get it right once.
yep,
And if there's a bunch of them deciding they want your wallet, they want your car, they want your wife,
yep,
they've got every advantage already. They've picked the time of the attack. They've picked the circumstances of the attack. They get to decide if they're going to do it one on one or if they're going to do it in a group. They get to decide what level of force they're willing to push to,
right,
right? You get all we get is to react to that. And I'm sorry, we're not sitting here, okay, we're going to have a fight and the winner's going to have my wallet. Let's negotiate the rules of engagement here. No, that shit doesn't happen.
no.
That's
There's no
not
such
how
thing
any.
as a fair fight.
If you find
No
yourself
such
in a
thing.
fair fight, you fucked up.
Yeah,
Yep.
You know, there. Should people know how? Learn how to handle themselves in a physical altercation without a weapon. Absolutely, because not every physical altercation warrants lethal force. You want to be able to protect yourself from all threats. But on the same token, the idea that that's just all you need is so fucking idiotic and so ivory tower privileged bullshit because anybody who has lived in a rougher neighborhood or who's had to travel through a rougher neighborhood knows it doesn't matter how good a fighter you might be. If four or five guys come on you who are tough guys, you're going down. You're gonna lose.
right,
And if they come at you from all angles, even the advice of you know, the best opening move is to run away. That may not even be on the table. But if four or five guys decide they want to come at me, I can say there's with this many guys coming at me, that's a threat on my life. Gun evens the odds.
yep. And just deploying lethal force doesn't mean that you have to kill someone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you most times, I mean, Aaron was talking about it earlier, just the threat of a
Mhm.
gun. Usually people will scatter.
Yep.
I don't know of anybody, it doesn't matter what you're carrying. Like I always say, people want to know what the best gun for concealed carry is. It's like the best gun to have is the one you've had with the one you've got,
When
right?
it's
The one you have on you. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a 22. When nobody's volunteering to get shot
right,
with anything.
and when it's pointing at you, they all look like they're 50 AE. All of them.
Yep. Although,
You're not going to sit here and go, wait, hold on. Let me pull up my calipers. Let me check
yeah, wait a
the
minute.
bore diameter here.
Right.
That's a 38. I'm not scared of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like you see gunfire break out, and I don't care what video you watch. Somebody
Yep.
shoots a gun, everybody scatters.
Yep.
I mean,
And,
anybody with any brains is going to get out of the way.
and going back to the whole just deploying the gun, most criminals are cowards.
Right. They
Yep.
picked you because you're weak, right?
They think you're
They
easy
think you're weak.
prey.
Yes.
They think you're easy prey. You were in a situation where they figure, hey, we can do what we want. Once they realize that easy prey is gone, if they were willing to work hard for their money, they wouldn't be criminals.
Yep.
Yep.
They'd have jobs. Once they see that gun come out, once they see you'll put up a fight, they don't want anymore. 9 times out of 10, they're going to take off because, oh shit, this motherfucker's about to shoot me.
Yep.
Even if they've got a gun,
Yeah.
the fact
Yep.
that you pulled out a gun means now it's a fair fight.
Yeah. I mean, most criminals who have guns, one, they're not trained with it. They don't the ammo that's in it's probably the same crusty shit that was in it when it was stolen,
Yeah.
right? They're not going out and target practicing with it because people are going to be alerted to gunfire. They're not
And
going,
they're
oh,
not
let's,
because this.
yeah. So I mean, they they don't know what they're doing. Anybody who spent any time shooting a gun is better trained than your average criminal is.
Mhm.
And so they're not going to stand and fight with you.
Yep.
Even if you're willing, just being willing to pull the trigger is enough to deter.
Yep.
So, I mean,
And
I don't know.
you got to figure too. There's people out there that'll make the wrong assumptions too. Like, let's just say hypothetically, if my wife and I were walking down the street and got into a situation where it became a defensive situation, they're going to look at me. They're going to look at her. They're not going to realize they need to be more worried about her shooting them than they're going to need to worry about me doing it because, I'm going to go center mass and try and just get it over with quickly. She's going to shoot him in the dick. So,
That's a good place to shoot them. I mean,
yeah, he'll
honestly,
bleed out.
You want a one
Yeah.
shot stop?
yeah, shoot them in the pelvic. That pelvic girdle, man.
Yep.
That's
There's
And if
that's
you-
a
lot of arteries
done
in
deal.
there.
Well, and not only that, if you shoot them in a dick, their fight's gone.
Yeah,
Anything of nothing else. Their will to fight is gone. They're too busy worried about their dick.
yeah,
Yeah, very
Like
true.
the kick in the nuts, kicking someone in the nuts isn't as effective as some people like to think. Shooting
No.
them in the dick, yeah,
Yep,
that
that'll do
one
it.
is. That one is.
Sorry, I completely derailed that. I apologize.
Yeah, now we're talking
Oh,
about
that's
shooting
fine.
people in the dick.
yeah. Well,
One-shot
We were
Tony.
having a serious 2A discussion. Now we're talking about shooting people in the dick.
I think I can't take
sorry.
too much seriousness, but no, I
No, I'm fine with it.
I do completely agree with you on the deterrent the deterrent factor is something nobody ever talks about when they're trying to make arguments for this thing, unless it's somebody that's already 2A savvy, and then you'll get people that say the majority of self-defense incidents don't even involve somebody getting shot.
right.
It's a case of establishing there's a possibility you're going to get shot, and most people don't want to get shot.
Well,
It's not fun. It does not feel good.
that's why it kind of bugs me when anti-gunners try to trot out. Well, yeah, this is how many people that are killed in defensive gun uses, which proves that they're not that common. And I'm like, you've never heard of people being wounded?
Yeah.
You never heard of people looking at a gun barrel and going, you know what? I'll decide I'm not going to be a criminal right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's
It
a very
doesn't take
intellectually
into account
dishonest.
even wild animals.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
because even urban areas can have stray dog packs.
Oh yeah, and I was
Right.
gonna say we've got a wild dog pack that runs around where I live, and after dark when I take the dog out to walk around the yard and do her business, I'm carrying just in my own yard because I live 2 blocks away from the field where the dog pack lives.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it's like wild animals are a legitimate threat. They're never going to show up on statistics of human fatalities,
Right.
Yep.
and it's still a defensive gun use.
Yes.
They don't. It goes back to the whole picking the statistics or the results that bolster their argument, independent of any other factors.
Well, like I said, the
Independent.
anti-gunners are only anti-gun because it keeps them in power for whatever
Well,
reason.
and they're never really anti-gun. They're
Right.
just
They're
Oh,
just
anti
no,
you
no,
having
no.
a
you
gun.
having guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they want their armed security to have one.
Yeah.
For sure.
My senator, Raphael Warnock, spends.
Oh, guy, I
don't like
hate
him.
that fake ass preaching motherfucker. 'Cause-
Yeah, he spends tens of thousands of dollars every month on private security while working on trying to pass legislation that will disarm me. What, am I not worthy of protecting myself and my family?
Well, not in his view.
Because I've had stalkers, I've had death threats, I've had all
I
that
bet.
shit. So is it because I can't afford to outsource my security? It makes me less worthy? And no, I'm sorry, I reject that.
Yeah.
So
Preach. Let the people know where to find you. Little, closing. Anything you want to say?
sure. You can find me on X at the Tom Knighton, on YouTube at the Fourth Rail. My Substack is tomknighton.substack.com, and you can find me at Bearing Arms all the time and Town Hall from time to time.
Well, thanks for coming on, sitting down, shooting the shit with us. JD,
Absolutely, had a blast.
thanks for joining us, brother. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem. I'm glad to finally get to talk to Tom, and more than
Absolutely.
just some messages flying back and forth through the ether. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad I was able to facilitate it.